you know that Homestar Runner's on TikTok now?
No.
Yes. It's all the old stuff, but...
Oh my gosh. I'm going to have to go find that. Dude, I loved Homestar Runner.
Oh, dude. Strong
Back
Bad's
Strong
on
Bad.
there.
Check on my emails.
Every week I hope it's from a female.
Dude, that was the shit back in the day. It was so good.
Hey, shut up over there. I got something to say. I got a song for you. And it goes... Go back to you.
Oh. Is the song called Go Back to You?
No. I'm getting cold feet.
The song is called I'm Getting Cold Feet?
No, the song... I'm Ron DeSantis. I'm getting cold feet, so I have to... No, I'm sorry, Mike Pence.
Ron DeSantis doing cold feet.
Mike Pence. All right, no, you can go back to me now. I'm just nervous as shit. Anyway, this is a song I wrote about you. Biden voters. No, I'm just kidding. Are you guys Biden voters?
I don't know.
No.
Douchebags. Anyway, it goes a little something like... Underneath the bridge, Ford has sprung a leak. The liberals are trapped, all become my pets. They're camping in my grass and stealing all my Trump signs. In Shapiro we trust, facts over feelings. Biden's in the way. Yeah, Biden's in the way.
Freebird!
Needs more cowbell.
It's out of tune. And I can't sing in tune. I'm shaking.
I can tell.
I thought Oliver Anthony was like right here.
Oh, man.
I have no words.
I had some words. Check these out.
I can't see your words.
They're written in crayon.
Get a little closer.
Oh, okay.
Get a little bit closer.
Biden in the way.
You know what?
I think it's going to be a new #1 single.
You know what's fucked up is that's what's going to go viral.
I hope so.
All the
They're going to be like, oh my gosh, this guy cannot sing at all, and his terrible guitar playing is even worse.
Oh, that's how Oliver Anthony got famous.
Hey, that dude's actually a pretty good guitar player.
Short there. The guitar playing was better than the singing.
I'm all messed up. The guitar playing wasn't bad.
It's literally 2 notes in rhythm. That's it. 4 4 4 oh oh.
Well, you just gave
4 4 4 oh. I'm shaking.
Shit.
I literally.
I don't know if I should clap or run out of the room.
Do the clap. Hey!
All right,
man.
Well, I guess we got to start the
Regular podcast?
Yeah, we got to start the regular podcast now. So
Okay. All right. Jake from State Farm.
So that's the joke. That's why it's funny.
Yeah. Get out, Nick.
Well, you don't have to be so coarse, but
Oh, my bad.
yeah,
I'm
we
just
gotta-
shaking. I've got a lot of adrenaline.
Yeah, dude, I thought this was a Halloween podcast.
it is.
Did you know you invited
Yeah,
me?
we just got. Well, I mean, he knows it's a Halloween podcast. We're here, aren't we? And it's Halloween's in 2 days.
Yeah, I thought that's why I was
Okay.
here.
All right, then. I guess it's business as usual, then.
Yeah, well, I mean, you don't have a costume.
I wasn't told
This
that
is a
was
costume podcast.
I mean, I'm wearing a horror shirt at least.
Well, I know, but I mean, it's a costume podcast. Well, we decided that today, right?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I mean-
Yay.
Well, feel free to take some
candy with
some
you.
of the trick
Sure, fat guy take candy.
some of the trick or treat candy.
You can take it and shove it. God.
Well, I'm not going to shove it in my stocking. That's Christmas.
Jeez.
Bye, Nick.
Fuck you.
Well, that was rude.
Wow. Jeez. You think you know a guy.
Hopefully somebody in his blog gives him some Midol in his Halloween bucket.
Jeez, I hope you guys enjoyed that song because I was nervous as shit. And I know I have a terrible voice. And actually, before we go, I need to switch this over so we can see comments.
Oh, yes. Because it just wouldn't be the Average Intelligence podcast if it went off without a hitch.
That's probably got to be the best opener ever.
Actually, I have to agree. That was... You sold yourself short. That was not bad.
Well, the thing is, I've been sick, and my voice is shitty. And it was shitty before, but it is what it is. It would have been so bad if you hit stream and it didn't stream.
That would have, yeah. Did you hear that wrong?
What?
Did you hear it?
We may have an issue.
Because I heard it.
I did not hear it. We may have an issue. That may not be going to... Let me double check. Like we said, this wouldn't be the Average Intelligence podcast if it actually went off without a hitch.
Oh, God, that would be terrible. We might have to do it again.
Oh, no. Oh.
I have to do it again.
No, we're fine on that.
Oh, no. Oh, I have to do it again.
Hey, hit one of the sound buttons and see if it comes through.
Did you know that Homestar Runner's on TikTok now? No. Yes. It's all the old stuff, but... Email. And it goes...
Oh, no, we have audio.
Oh.
Hold on.
I'm Ron DeSantis. I'm getting cold feet, so I have to... Buy... Need the bread.
How about now?
We're good. I don't care if anyone can hear the sound.
Well, because actually, I think...
Oh, it's so embarrassing.
I think I'm good if I just share that mic.
Oh, okay.
Wrong.
If anyone out there is a regular listener, could you, or actually you can check.
Yeah,
Hold
I can
on.
check. Yeah, we're good.
Just make sure when you talk directly at the microphone.
Yeah, we're good. Just make sure when you talk directly.
I made sure. Welcome, everybody. Happy
Almost Halloween.
Mischief Night Eve. Because Mischief Night is the night before Halloween.
They done took our jobs.
They took our jobs.
You took your jobs.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, happy
Did they take your jobs?
Did they take your jobs? No damn future guy took our jobs. By the way, happy birthday, Haley.
Yes. Happy birthday, you asshole. You beat me to it.
Oh, I
Happy
didn't know you
birthday.
were...
No, you're fine.
Which actually, yes, you did know because I saw you like the posts.
Well, I also did, and then, yes, I said it on her post. Happy birthday, Haley.
I'm gonna cry.
And if anyone doesn't know, Haley is from where?
TikTok.
Well, give her.
I know. She is her credentials. She is the host of the Part of Your Broadway World podcast. Her podcast. Your songs got me in that whole redneck spirit.
Dude, Biden's in the way. Dude, I had it perfect earlier, but then like as the night progressed, my voice was getting crackier, and yeah, so I couldn't perform it as well. And normally we have two microphones, but you know we set up with one. Well, I think I went over with the computer.
We had technical difficulties.
Tefficaldilities. I can't remember how I said that back in the day. Anyway, so this is a podcast about all Halloween. So we're just gonna shoot the crap about everything and anything within the Halloween universe.
You might say this is
Multiverse.
This is Halloween podcast.
This is Hallowcast.
Nah.
Oh no.
But speaking of this is Halloween, did you see the video of my dog that I uploaded?
No.
Oh, you didn't?
On.
Well, I put it on TikTok and YouTube thus far.
Okay. No, I have not seen it.
I found a really cool cover of This Is Halloween by...
Marilyn Manson?
No, but I have heard that one. That one's good. Oh my god, now I can't remember her name. Izzy Rain. That's her name. And I was listening to it while I was like just cleaning my house because it's on my YouTube playlist and it came on, and I just happened to be sitting down and I looked over and my dog is scratching her ass on the couch as the song is playing, but it kind of looks like she's dancing. But the funny part is I'm recording her doing it because it was hilarious to me. And then she just kind of looks over and sees that I'm recording her. She stops and just goes. I'll show it to you later.
Oh, man. Oh, do we got comments?
Pradcast. That's Haley.
I know, but
she's correcting us.
How come we don't see any comments on here?
Oh, because you had it on Top Chat, not Live Chat.
You know, the funny thing is, I change that every time, and it always reverts back to that.
Oh, fun fact.
She says that mic isn't on. Sean.
Is it this one?
Shaw.
No, this one's on. I don't know if we fixed it or what, but I don't know. Don't know. But
okay.
Fun fact, so we're now even when it comes to resolution issues. You remember how you said you didn't have that camera set to 4K? Well, guess what I just recently discovered? The video editor that I use to make our clips before I edit them in CapCut.
You were going 480p.
No, 720.
720? Oh, but the thing is... Oh.
Well, but here's the thing. I couldn't change it. So today I spent more money for you to upgrade the editor so that I can export in high definition. So, very, very...
take it to gather souls for you.
So very soon, our shorts and clips are going to look significantly better. Because even though we were recording, and well, not recording, we were streaming in 4K, and I was exporting in up to 1080p, the footage was 720p because that's what was exported from. And CapCut sucks for editing for clips. It's great for linear editing. It sucks for non-linear editing. But I digress. So hopefully our clips are going to look a lot better. But hopefully that generates more views for us. And it turns out I was also doing hashtags completely wrong. So.
And, it's definitely an okay mistake.
Well, it's not like there's a rule book, But I saw actually, I was simultaneously happy and pissed off because Virus took some of the clips from Toon Talk, which they did okay, about 1,000, few hundred views. And then he posted them to his other YouTube channel. Same clip, exact same clip, astoundingly more views, but it was because how we did hashtags.
Okay, all right.
So I was pissed and happy.
Because the thing is, the way you're doing it now is you're putting a whole ass term with other keywords added on top of it.
Yeah. And
then adding, taking,
But here's what's funny though. The reason I did it that way is because I read YouTube's guide for hashtags. F YouTube episode 3 coming soon. Oh God. Well, we better start talking about Halloween. What's your favorite no, not your favorite. What am I trying to ask? What's your do you know, is trick-or-treating happening on Halloween this year? They're not going to bitch out?
Yeah, no. It's on Halloween.
Last year they did it on Sunday.
Because I think it's on Tuesday.
It is on Tuesday, yeah. Last year a lot of places did it on Sunday, and I was like...
I think it was still something to do with COVID.
Yeah, but why on Sunday versus Monday? It just...
I remember somebody saying something about kids staying up late and eating candy, and I was like, well, if you're doing it on a Sunday, they're going to school on Monday, so it makes no sense anyway.
Or at least it would be the same, but
I'm sorry, but dude, we ate candy like crazy, and then we still got up and went to school.
Or I don't know.
We walked 5 miles in the snow. I tell you what.
I tell you what.
You son of a bitch, I'm the best there's ever been. You better believe it. Give me a beer, woman. My president's coming back, you son of a bitch.
Oh, we'll see.
If you can't tell, that's my costume.
That's his costume.
The person.
And I'm just here to be a good neighbor.
She sounds hideous.
Well, she's a guy, so... Actually, this is my work costume every year that I wear to work on Halloween.
It's perfect. Jake, because... Yeah, Jake. Ha!
Fun fact, when that commercial first aired, I had... this was my reaction and went, oh, crap. because I knew. Because it was so funny. I knew it was going to be a thing. And now anytime, well, not anytime, most of the time when people hear my name, they're like, oh, Jake from State Farm. I'm like, yeah, don't ever hear that one, ever. But I like it. The good news is, I guess I have a measure of job security, because if things ever really got bad, I could show up at any State Farm office and be like, look.
The name's Jake, and I will sell your insurance a mother.
My name is actually Jake, and I look pretty good in khakis, so let's do this.
Oh, man. What's your favorite Friday the 13th movie?
I'm not a big fan of the franchise, but if I had to pick one...
Just whatever one you remember the most.
Well,
What stands out most to you?
The one that stands out the most is Freddy vs. Jason, but I'm by no means saying that's the best one.
Dude, that one wasn't bad. I liked it. Just because of the battle.
Here's why it wasn't bad, though. It was bad because that movie never once took itself seriously, and that's fine. However, I do remember... I don't know if I went and saw it with you this time. I think I went with Craig, actually. But
yeah.
I said something in the theater to the effect of, once they were fighting, I was like, if one of these guys pulls out a lightsaber, I'm leaving. Because, like, Freddy knows Kung Fu now, apparently.
Yeah, I noticed that.
You know?
But, I mean, he was a Dream Master, so...
That's true. I can never remember the comedian's name, but he's famous. He's been in a Marvel movie. He was in the Eternals. I think he's from Pakistan originally, or his family is. But anyway, he does this bit when he's talking about Freddy versus Jason, and it's so funny. He's like, I was watching Freddy versus Jason. You've seen this movie, right? He was like, but I'll never forget it. We're watching the movie, and keep in mind, Freddy Krueger kills children in their sleep. But at some point in the movie, he turns and sees a girl who's black and says, dark meat. And the audience did a collective groan, and I was like, really? Racism? It's like, you kill children to sustain yourself, but racism? We expected better from you.
We draw the line.
His line is like, we expected more from you, Freddy Krueger. So that was funny. But Friday the 13th that I think is the best one, I gotta say number 2.
I like the original.
The only problem with the original is it's technically not Jason. Spoiler alert.
Okay, I don't know how I got confused on that. I thought you were talking about Friday the 13th.
I am.
Nightmare on Elm Street. My bad.
Oh, okay.
My bad. Because we were talking about Freddy and Jason, too.
Yeah.
All right, my bad.
So was the question Friday the 13th or Nightmare?
Did I say Friday the 13th?
You did originally.
Okay, so I think what I was meaning to say was Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, the first one.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I was just double checking on that, but you're correct. On Friday the 13th, the second one would. I don't know if the second one. Actually, you know what?
Maybe 3, but for me,
I changed my vote on the first Friday or first Nightmare on Elm Street. New Nightmare by Wes Craven. That shit was scary.
I haven't seen it yet, so I'm not huge on horror movies.
They took the hat away, and I know the hat's iconic. Dude, he's so much more scary without the hat, and the way he acts in this one, it's still Robert Englund, but the thing is, the way he acts in it, he's just he's more sinister. He's not.
Yeah, I heard it was
funny.
less. Yeah, I heard it was more.
Oh, dude, that one gave me nightmares. And the thing is, there's a scene where the kid is crawling through the it's essentially like a blanket tent, and the kid's crawling through it, and it's on his bed, but it's forever, and he's just crawling through it. Oh, dude, it's crazy. And then Freddy's in it chasing him.
Oh.
Dude, oof, that one's probably the scariest.
Oh, I don't know. The scariest.
I think that'll be good.
Okay, well, we have to ask the question then. What about the Halloween franchise?
Oh, Halloween?
That's tougher because there's
the third one. No, Season of the Witch, or
was
it Season of Witches?
No, Season of the Witch. Okay. Here's the thing, though. On its own, it's not a terrible movie.
No.
But there was just the disappointment that came from the fact that people were expecting more Michael Myers, and they did. And I totally understand what Carpenter was going for. He wanted to turn Halloween into an anthology, but sorry, sorry, John, you just made a great character right out of the gate. Like, but yeah, the Halloween franchise is harder to pin down the best one because there's a lot of good. There's some bad ones, but there's a lot of good ones. And then there's some that are so bad they're good, like Curse of Michael Myers.
I will say though, with Michael Myers, what is that? Halloween. The Rob Zombie version was really good. The second one I did not like. First one was amazing.
See, in terms of overall, and this might be sacrilegious to some people, but in terms of
sacrilegious, like speaking of the dead.
Dun, 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 dun. In terms of like the total package, meaning the script, how it was shot, it just the editing and everything, I think Rob Zombie's might be the best movie, quote unquote, the first one. The second one I did not like. I agree. To me it got, which this is a silly thing to say for a slasher flick, but to me Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 was just so gratuitous. Like I get what
he was trying to make it like really good, and you know he did a good job with it, but like there's some times where you can tell it's like trying too hard.
That's what it was. It was trying too hard to be gory, and it was just Which you could kind of make the same case for Freddy versus Jason.
There's classy gory, and then there's not classy.
Then there's too much, and I feel like Rob Zombie like.
And then you end up with movies like Evil Dead. Don't get me wrong, it's a great movie. But I'm talking about the gore. It's not very, you know, it's hilarious. I love those movies.
I will say this much though, and not to say the movie's criminally underrated, but I think since like some of the newer movies coming out, I think some people are sleeping on H2O.
H2O?
Halloween H2O.
Oh, you son of a bitch. I was like, what are you talking about?
Gatorade.
H2O. That's what I was thinking.
And I will admit, when H2O came out, because God, that was 2000 or 99. That's 98.
What? 98? Yeah,
I can't remember.
I think it was 2000.
I think it was 2000.
Because I think that's why they called it H2O.
Well, no, because that was 20 years later. Okay, so hold on, we can figure this out.
Was the original in 1980?
No. So I think
Find
it was
out when
98.
the original is 1978.
Well, I'm just going to look up
John Carpenter coming this fall.
So I think it might have been 1998, yeah. 1998, yes. So it was H2O for Halloween 20 years later.
You son of a bitch.
You son of a bitch. But now, Halloween H2O flips the, what would you call it, the canon on its head. Because in the original canon, going into the cult of... Damn it, we should have kept Nick around. He would know this. What's the cult?
Damn it, Bobby.
Damn it, Bobby. Whatever the cult in the original Halloween timeline with going through to the Curse of Michael Myers.
You know who would be really great to ask that?
As I said, that's
the other side. The other side.
The other side. What do you mean by the other side?
The dead. I'm scared.
No. Shit, wrong one. Shit, wrong one. Where's the fucking... So, while I'm trying to remember, that might be a good time to talk about our sponsor. Wait a minute.
Hey.
Where's the candle? Shit. Where's the candle?
I'm getting out of here.
There's some crazy
There's
shit
something
happening.
going on.
I'm just trying to feel for something to hold on to, and
what? Wait a minute. What is that?
something just came in and sat down.
Hello.
Man, you're high as fuck if you're laughing at that and not screaming.
I don't know what to say.
Shit.
Quit hitting the wrong buttons.
I can't help it.
He's got our candle.
Oh, well, that's one mystery solved.
Wait a minute. If he's here, would he want to be on the podcast? Answer some questions.
I think he's already on the podcast.
Hey, would you want to take my spot over here? I think he's going to get up.
I don't know what he's gonna do.
What is he doing?
It would be super creepy if he looked over here.
Ah!
See, that's a good scream.
I don't want to do this. I'm leaving, Jake. Ah! You can take over. I'm out of here.
I'm gonna cry.
Oh God, it's coming over here.
I'm gonna cry. Does it talk?
God, I hope not. That's fucking unnerving.
Man, a few words. I'm kind of nervous.
You speak English.
Oh, I think he's offering you a candle back.
Oh,
Maybe
that
for
is
your
our
soul.
candle. Did you bring this from the other side? That's really creepy. Horrifying stranger.
I don't know. No thanks.
Well, I'm about to tell all of you about tonight's sponsor, Stevie Wicks, Wilkins Candle Company. I'll tell you what, when I get out of here, I'm going to get me a Stevie Wicks candle and a new pair of pants. And lucky for me, Halloween candles are 20% off from now until Halloween. And then they're gone. So go to steviewicks.com and get your Halloween candles today.
He's so scared he's not even talking into the microphone.
Because I'm scared. I was thinking different things. I don't think I changed... Oh, you changed the camera. Thank God.
I'm not over there anymore. I went to another room.
You know, he's very helpful, though. I'm thinking he might be a friendly ghost.
I'm just... That's unnerving. You're not on you.
I know. I thought you put it on you.
No, I didn't do that. Did you?
Oh, I hit the wrong button.
Oh.
I'm just all out of sorts tonight.
Pradcast? Okay, I was just reading Haley's comment. Well, what kind of questions do you think we could probably get an answer out of this guy?
Would you like a Twix?
Does he eat candy?
I hope it's candy and not souls. Now that's a left Twix. If you vote Republican, here's a right Twix. Is that an eyeball on your...
He eats both!
Oh, I don't know. He might make a decision.
He's a libertarian.
Trump or Biden? Neither. Oh.
Oh. Okay. Those are answers. We're getting somewhere. Oh, he's shaking eyeballs.
I'm guessing those are from politicians. Oh, well, then we're good. We're good. He only feasts upon the elected.
I don't want to see those.
It's very unnerving. So, what do we call you, Casper? Okay, charades. Okay. How many words? 2, 3, 4? 2 words. Okay, first word. Body parts. Oh, hang on. I got this. Hear, see, speak. Oh, okay.
Hear no evil, see
Sins.
no evil,
Sin,
speak no
sin.
evil.
Sin. Okay. First word, sin.
Oh.
Plaque.
Eater. Sin eater?
Oh, we're screwed.
Well then that's... Are you Jesus Christ?
No. He saves. He's
Sin eater.
saver.
You're eating my sins.
Does Jesus eat the sins? I feel like we're talking about the wrong holiday.
Sorry. I don't want to talk to this guy.
It's very unnerving. Where did you come...
That is a creepy ass...
Wait a minute.
He came from hell?
You came from the basement? Lower. Okay. China. Did
No.
you come from China?
It's definitely not the window or the wall.
Wrong.
Lower still. The abyss.
Lower than hell?
He's like, you're a moron.
Is that New York?
It's 11 and bleaker. So you're a New York ghost, huh? Or are you even a ghost? That is fucking unnerving.
It's hard to look at him.
If that came out of a dark corner, I would piss myself, literally.
The Nether Realm.
Do you know Scorpion?
Get over here.
Is he as big of an asshole as he looks? Thought so, yeah.
Oh man, I smell something fishy.
But
You smell something fishy?
But we're not by the sea.
I might. No,
It's your Trump handle!
no.
Wait a minute.
He's trying to grab me by the pussy.
Wait a minute. If he knows that joke... How's this thing come on? Expose thyself!
He's black. What the hell? Oh!
It's Nick, and
He's
I'm
sweaty.
so surprised.
Well, I mean, I was told I couldn't be on the podcast without a costume.
Dude.
So, I thought I'd sneak on here. Steal your candle. And make my way back.
That's a dastardly plot, sir.
And I would have gotten away with it, too, if it wasn't for you middle-aged kids.
Middle.
Middle. Well, while we have you, we should welcome the... I had this all planned out, too. I mean, I didn't because I had no idea he was coming.
Oh!
What does this mean? I don't know what this means.
He's coming. Button.
Oh,
I'm gonna come.
Damn.
I forgot about it.
Okay.
So, SHAWHAIN on Instagram, the Halloween expert, the horror aficionado, the guru of ghouls. Yeah, fuck you too. I don't know why he's flipping us off.
So basically, I'm just over here doing this. Interesting, right?
Exactly what Jake from State Farm described.
Yeah. Because I'm also an analyst.
I'm an anarchist.
Yeah, a Trump voter is definitely not an anarchist.
I don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, you guys
Wrong.
This was a Halloween podcast, guys. I came back in here.
Well, and there's nobody better to
Doing a little
talk.
stir.
There's nobody better to talk about anything Halloween. What the?
You know I go to church every Sunday. You don't bring the demons out in me.
He's high as fuck right now.
Yeah, he is.
How many times have I told you?
I actually went over that earlier.
How many times have I told you? You gotta lay off the grass. It does things to you.
I just got yelled at.
That was unintentional.
Unintentional, but that was fantastic.
Well,
Perfect timing.
I already knew this podcast was slightly going to go off, but it's okay. And without that button, it's hard to switch back over here. So I might need your assistance.
I got it.
I'll say because I want to leave it up so we can read the chat.
Yeah.
But hello. I don't like this angle. Is it the hair? Is it the eyes? Is it Maybelline?
It's that extra chin.
Dude, I was making fun of someone the other day for a double chin, and I'm just like looking in the mirror. I'm like, yeah.
Bro, if I shaved, I got 5 under here. So
I don't have any. Get the camera off me.
Oh my god.
Are we just gonna turn this into a Bob and Tom segment?
Dude, I
Beans.
Who's gonna be Donnie Baker? Rest in peace.
I
Yeah.
look forward to the day that our podcast is such that we don't have to even theme it anymore if we don't want to. We're just like
Podcast
this is just
75,000.
the Average Intelligence Podcast. You know what you're here for. Sorry for disappointing you in advance, but as I was saying, there is no one better to talk to about all things Halloween than this man right here, SHAWHAIN. Like I said, on Instagram, follow him. So we might as well re-ask you those questions. You talk. What was the first one? Friday the 13th.
Yeah. What favorite
The
one?
best one.
A lot of fan debate on that one, but a lot of them like Part 4.
Really?
Oh,
We were
Jason
way off.
Lives, right?
No, that's a different one. The final chapter is Part 4.
My bad.
That seems to be a fan favorite. Me personally, though, I love the 2009 remake. I know that's blasphemy to some people, but Derek Mears played a fantastic Jason Voorhees.
You know,
Like,
not
that one actually could be scary because that dude made it look like he really did live in that woods in Camp Crystal Lake for all those years. He was big. He was strong.
Was that the
He
one with
didn't-
Jared
he didn't
Padalecki?
walk. Yeah, he didn't walk after you. He fucking ran after you.
That was a good one.
So that was scary in itself. I mean, he didn't want to walk. He wanted to come get you.
Yeah, that one was
And
really
all the
good.
skills he used, like a bow and arrow, makes sense because he's living in the woods on his own.
You know, this works out so perfectly.
Yeah, except if only
It's
we
so
had
weird.
Yeah. But so then the next one was Nightmare on Elm Street. Which
Yeah.
one of those is the best?
The first one always.
Yeah, that's pretty much what we said.
I mean,
Although New Nightmare, I guess, is a contender.
Yeah, I actually changed my vote from the first one to the, New Nightmare because of the way they changed it up. I loved it. It was creepy as shit. You know, and I was telling him
so
about
are you
the
talking
scene.
about the remake, or are you talking about the one?
No, not the
near the
remake.
end of the franchise.
Wes Craven's New Nightmare.
Okay.
Yeah, so that one, you remember the bed scene where the kid's crawling through like the bed sheets? We were talking about that earlier. That
This little dinosaur. That
and
we all
it was
saw
just
back in the day,
never ending.
Dinosaur.
Yeah, that shit was creepy.
Yeah. And then we went to Halloween, which I was going to say your take on the Friday the 13th. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, Friday the 13th one with the remake being sacrilege. Not necessarily because we were talking about Halloween's a little bit trickier because there's a lot of really good entries into that franchise, and then some that are, like I said, so bad they're good, like Curse of Michael Myers. Just Paul Rudd trying not to be funny and still being funny.
Yeah.
It just makes it for me. I love it. He's at the computer. He's just like, I have information about it, and it's like you can.
Oh.
Are you trying to be funny? Or?
What's the best Halloween? And we all know it's Season of the Witch.
You laugh.
Oh shit!
But and that movie got so much crap when it first came out because everybody was expecting Michael Myers to be in it due to the fact that it's named Halloween 3. You would think that, but it was never meant to be all about Michael Myers. It was actually meant to be kind of anthology-like, where Halloween 1 and 2 were the story of Michael Myers, and then going forward, it was going to be about different ones.
Oh.
But Mustafa Akkad and John Carpenter and all them, they were like, okay, well, Michael Myers is the cash cow.
Yeah.
You know, so Carpenter's vision of anthology kind of got thrown out the window, and it was more or less a continuation now of Michael rather than that standalone that Halloween 3 was.
Then I've got a. So if that's common knowledge to you, then I've got a question to ask you. Would you say that American Horror Story kind of ripped him off? Or actually, there was other storytelling ones before, like what was that? Tales from the Hood. You remember that one?
No, but I remember Tales from the Crypt.
Well, no. Tales from the Crypt is obviously an episode based, but like Tales from the Hood, I think I can't remember if it was a movie or if it was a series. I can't remember, but it had I can't remember what the dude's name is. Do you remember the movie Half Baked?
Yes.
Do you remember the guy, the bad guy? He was gonna shoot the dude with he was gonna shoot Dave Chappelle with a crossbow. That guy, he was in Tales from the Hood, and he was like, I don't know if he was a vampire or like the undead or something like that. Watch it if you haven't seen it, dude. It's hilariously bad, but it's good. Makes sense of that.
Is it hilariously bad like Leprechaun? Well, I wouldn't say it's bad. Is it hilariously odd like Leprechaun in the Hood?
Yeah,
I'll be honest, I wasn't listening. I'm sorry. Jake from State Farm.
Talk, or you weren't listening to
Well, no, that's how it goes, you know. We Trumpers, you know, we just like to hear ourselves talk. You know. Oh, let me get this camera all up on my face.
He was he had Biden in the way stuck in his head.
Dude, I don't care what anyone says. That's a gold hit. Because I was sitting there trying to come up with lyrics, and I was like, man, well, what do I have for this? And I was like, underneath the bridge. I was like, oh, that's good. I'll leave that in. And I was like, Ford has sprung a leak, and I was like, the liberals I've trapped. They become my pets.
I know. We heard the song.
No, you did not hear the song in its entirety. You have to listen to the context. Musical theory.
Pretty sure we did.
2 notes. Dong, dong.
Yeah, I think we heard it.
Enough.
True international under pressure.
Listen, don't make me go get Biden. Will you guys talk?
I don't know what to say to that. What's happening right now?
Welcome to the
True international refresher.
Welcome. So actually, let me take a short detour. That is
The
actually
creepiest fucking
unnerving.
outfit I've ever seen.
But no, the mask man was made actually by a Russian guy I found on Instagram, Monster Skya. So he can be found on Etsy though. This is actually where I found this.
Oh, so wait. Now that's not mass-produced mask?
This is not a mass-produced.
Oh.
No, this is a original done by an artist, which is why it's got such a creep factor to it.
Definitely.
Now, originally, like, he had lenses in his. That made it too hard for me to see, though, so contacts made more sense, which is what I have in now. And it also made it to where, like, in the future, I can change out the color of the contacts, too, to go with the character. So I can make them red, I can make black.
So when he becomes a Sith Lord, you can put the yellow contacts.
Yeah, I'll put those Darth Maul contacts right in. I have no problem with
But
that.
you know what I think it is? I think it's because how the eyes like sink in. It looks extremely realistic. By the time it gets to your actual face, it blends quite well.
Yeah.
So it's pretty unnerving.
So if you're gonna be a Sith Lord, question: which lightsaber? You going with the sword?
Single,
Are you going with the double? Or are you going with the single?
Cross. Oh, no, I'll go with double.
Double. I thought she's gonna go the purple, like
No, that's
snakes on a motherfucking plane.
No, that's unique to Mr. Sam Jackson. He
Yeah,
requested
I
that
know.
purple
He
lightsaber,
requested it, and they gave it to
and
him.
Lucas was like, sure.
It's like it's Samuel L. Jackson. You got to give him the lightsaber.
I want this purple motherfucking lightsaber in this motherfucking Star Wars movie.
Have you seen, so they have a Grease song out there, and I don't know who did this original video, but my God, it's hilarious. So it does the Grease song, like, tell me more, and then it cuts to Sam Jackson's character.
What the fuck?
From Pulp Fiction.
From Pulp Fiction. It goes, does he look like a bitch? It works so
It is.
well.
Tell me more, does he look like a bitch?
I didn't expect that. I freaking lost my
That's
shit.
why I love
That
the
was
internet.
so good.
The internet is a wonderful, wonderful place. Dude, I'm being serious. Like, I'm not trying to blow smoke up your ass with this, but, like, you should be making some social media content with that shit.
Well, he's got his Instagram, which shout your name out.
Confess your sins to Sin Eater, and he
Say
will
it.
pass judgment on you.
At SHAWHAIN. How do you spell it?
Newly made character. I kind of pieced all this together. So the glove makers, also on Etsy. The mask is from Etsy, but the necklace I made myself from Parts Unknown. No, I'm
Human
just kidding.
remains.
But it's all from, Etsy people that just do amazing work, and I just piece it together and make my own character. So seems to work out pretty well. It's been a pretty big hit this year, actually, surprisingly. I didn't think it would get the reception it had. I've actually had people message me asking me, like, where did you get that costume? I was like, I pieced it together. It's not
We just
one that
asked.
you could buy. So they were like, oh, I thought that was one you could buy. I was like, well, you can if you want to piece it all together yourself. I'll be happy to send these guys the links to those for anybody who's interested from those makers, because they do amazing work. I mean, this is an actual leather glove. It's just they're not real claws, because, you don't want to actually, like, hurt somebody unless you're me. But sadly, he didn't put anything on there. But it's really well done. I mean, these people do amazing craftsmanship on their stuff.
So, by the way, everybody, we've been strong-arming Nick into creating some sort of horror content. Some kind of podcast, ideally, but some kind of horror content, because, I mean, you're good at it. It's not really a way to say it, but, like, you obviously have a passion for it. the horror genre in general. I mean, as long as I've known you and shit, I've known you pretty much my whole life, at least as far back as I can remember. So, if you ever had any question about horror or other stuff too, but you've always been into horror as far as I can remember.
Oh yeah, ever since Goosebumps, which is what majority of my Instagram's about. But man, that's just nostalgia on a plate anymore for everybody. You know, it's like you hear Goosebumps and you can hear the theme song. You can hear that dog in the intro.
Doom, doot, doot, doot. Doom, doot, doot.
So
He's high as fuck
yeah, he
right
is.
now.
Wow.
No, not even. I'm literally just.
Hi.
No, I'm literally just doing the song. Doot, 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 doot.
Well, see, that time you kind of...
Well, I know I'm not fucking Power Ranger. Doot, 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 doot.
Okay, you got that one.
Well, he got that one right. Yeah.
It was just a fuck up. Had nothing to do with anything.
I
Dicks!
know what happened. He didn't check his candy.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, because people are putting weed in candy and giving it away for free in this economy.
I mean, in any economy, I didn't think weed was really...
I mean, if you grow it yourself, sure,
Well,
but I mean, why would you
get
do
it
that? That's just
at
stupid.
Dispensaries and stuff in most states, anyway.
Right. I mean, I could see
Yeah,
someone
why not?
accidentally leaving something on the counter, but it is what it is.
I could see somebody legitimately giving pot brownies to kids on Halloween.
Oh my gosh, dude. You're just going to have a couple kids running around just laughing their asses off at everything. Jason comes up and they're just like, ha ha.
Until they pass out in your lawn and they're asking for more candy because now they're high as crap.
You got any more of those brownies?
What you just said reminds me, have you guys, I know it's kind of controversial, but did you guys either see the Connors after, they took Roseanne off? Because obviously that's why they call it the Connors. There's an episode where Dan was trying edibles, and he eats one, and he was talking, and he comes in, and he's just like he's baked, and he's just like, and then all of a sudden, he's just like, well, I ate one of those edibles, and then I got hungry, and I ate another one, and now I can hear the callers or something like that. Anyway, it's funny.
All that makes me think of... I haven't watched the Connors because, I wasn't a huge Roseanne fan back in the day.
I appreciate it much more in my
As an
30s
adult.
than I did, yeah.
Because I resonate more with the parents now than I did ever the kids.
I don't know that show ever really wanted you to resonate with the kids, though. I think that was always kind of spearheaded.
Always
the
about
parents.
Roseanne and Dan.
Yeah, but
Their Halloween episodes, fantastic.
another really good... Well, there's a lot of good Halloween episodes. Home Improvement always had really good Halloween episodes,
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
And you know what about the Tool Man?
Of course, The Simpsons, Treehouse of Horror. They always
Oh.
have great specials.
That's honestly the only good episodes anymore. Anyway.
Do you remember... I mean, I'm sure you do, but rhetorically, I have to ask. Do you remember that show Dinosaurs?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Their Halloween episode, I think there was only one. They might have done two, but the first one they did, the Wereman, that shit was good.
Well, unfortunately, the asteroid canceled them.
Actually, no, it wasn't an asteroid.
What was it?
Ice Age.
Yeah.
Volcano?
No, I'm trying to remember
Blocking
exactly.
out the sun?
It was the company that Earl worked for.
Oh, that's right.
They basically got to they called climate change before it was a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, here we are.
Simpsons of their time. I guess.
1980s,
In a way. Oh, speaking of, we can tie this in again. The Happy Plant episode where they all get high. They find that plant when they eat it, they get high, and then they're all baked in the living room. And then I think it's Robbie who has the idea. He's like, and he looks right in the camera, and he was like, "You ever feel like we're being watched?" And then Charlene's like, "And if they stopped watching, we'd cease to exist." Whoa!
Those fourth wall breaks in shows were always
Dinosaurs was hilarious as a child, but I'm telling you, if you watch it as an adult, it's
sad.
Well, it's not only sad,
and
but the
it's
humor.
kind of horrific in a way in some instances.
But the humor is just, oh my god, it's so funny.
Do you remember the episode where Earl's boss, I can't remember his name right now.
Mr. Richfield.
Mr. Richfield. So they found one of his favorite foods.
The
were those
Graptolites.
little,
Yep.
Yeah, the little furry animals, but they were going extinct. And Earl's family was trying to protect the babies that were there. And the end of the episode, dude ended up eating all of them, I think, right?
No, so what
Or
happened
was there one that he didn't eat?
What happened was I think Earl was getting them for an anniversary dinner for he and his wife. But then Robbie, I think, talks to them and they find out that they're the last two.
Right.
So Earl is convinced to try to keep them alive, but then he brings them into work for some reason, and I can't remember the why.
It was something about Mr. Richfield saying he would protect them.
Yeah, and then
because he wanted them. He tried to buy them from
yeah,
them.
exactly.
No.
But then he eats them. But their silver lining at the episode is they were alive long enough to have babies, and then they're at the Sinclair house, so they're.
Right.
I mean, technically
but
they're not
just
extinct.
thinking about that episode, it was like, dude, like when he walked in and that box was empty of those, like, because Richfield ate them.
Oh, it's worse than that. Richfield is
wow.
flossing his teeth when he comes back.
Yeah.
Dude, and like, it's like, they talk about kids programming today. Like, that is a children's show. There's no silver lining. But, like, I remember, like, that didn't horrify me as a child, but I understood what it meant. But apparently, they think kids are dumb as shit today.
Well, to me, and as a child, I didn't, I guess, realize the implications that were in that scene. Like, to me, it was just, oh, he ate them. Okay, well, I get that. I eat cheeseburgers all the time, bro. Fat kids, we eat everything. So it's like, yay, food. So I'm totally, like, I was okay with it. But as an adult, and you see the world we're in now and things that are going extinct that were still around when we were kids, but you, like, certain rhino species and things like that, it's like, wow. It's like, okay. So it has a bigger impact as an adult than it would as a kid.
100%. But I guess the magic of that show and shows like it are the fact that it appeals to both.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's anything, honestly, back from when we were kids. I mean, there was a lot of adult humor and a lot of shows that we didn't catch on to.
But it went right over your head.
Yeah. Adults would get it, kids wouldn't, but kids still enjoy the show.
Yeah. They enjoy it for different reasons. But I got to say, though, I finally got around to watching that 30th anniversary Power Rangers special.
Yeah, I didn't care for it either.
Yeah. It was okay. It did fall a little flat for me, though.
I can respect what they were trying to do, but
They waited too late.
well, no, I don't even think they waited too late.
Well, they didn't have JDF, did they?
No,
well,
they didn't.
He didn't want to do it at the time. He wanted to actually, for the first time, I think, in his career, wanted to stay clear of Power Rangers and actually wanted to do his own thing with Bat in the Sun and Legend of the White Dragon.
Okay.
Which is his new project and stuff. And now because of his passing, I've heard they're going to do a theatrical run of it and things like that.
Hopefully.
Oh, so they had stuff filmed?
Yeah. I mean, he was done with the project, I think, but it was just editing. Like, it was in the post-production
Leave it on there real quick. Let me check.
So it was supposed to have been more than just one
You know what? That's fine. I don't care.
film, but just because of his passing, obviously, this is the only one that's going to happen.
Right. That sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That he was so influential. Like, it's unreal.
Well, God, I mean, and it's wild to think because Power Rangers is already super popular, and then he came onto the show, and it just...
What was the Red Ranger's name?
Jason.
Well,
the first one, anyway.
Okay, yeah. I always get that mixed up because of Jason David Frank.
Right,
so...
yeah.
But everyone lies if they say they want to be Jason the Red Ranger. Everybody wanted to be the Green Ranger.
We did it first.
Green Ranger.
You did it first.
No, I never did because the thing is, I didn't like the Red Ranger from the get go, and I was like, this show's cool though, but I was like, I don't see why he's so popular. And then Tommy came on, I was like, that's the dude. He's green. That's my favorite color.
Dude showed up. Yeah, it's my favorite color too. So instantly,
Green and black.
Awesome. But then he was a dragon. He wasn't a dinosaur per se. So it was like dragons were cool to kids. So that was appealing. But then he also just gave them the business for 5 straight episodes. It was like, dude, nobody's done this. He was the only one throughout this whole time who like single-handedly almost wiped them out.
But the only thing with him though, obviously because he couldn't keep up with that power. Because it was only temporary versus the
Yeah.
well that I know, but it was only temporary because the rest of the Power Rangers wasn't their power infinite or something.
No, so it was all from the morphing grid. It was just Tommy's power because they ran out of Japanese footage from the Sentai show of the Dragon Ranger because he died in the Sentai show.
Oh yeah.
So they didn't have any more footage.
Kind of a buzzkill.
They actually paid people in Japan to make more footage just so they could keep the Green Ranger longer because he was so popular. But but eventually they ran out. So you notice like a lot of the Zord fights and stuff were reused footage. One that saves money.
Which I will say, did not notice as a kid, but I started, like, I casually watched an episode or two here and there. The first time I've seen Power Rangers in like 25 years. And I'm watching it as an adult, and I'm like, oh my god, this is painful at times. But
it's nostalgic, though, so it's...
Well, not even that. I totally get why we were obsessed with it as children. It's because we didn't care that the acting had more wood than a fucking pirate ship. Like, it was bad, but there were good aspects to it. And you see things as an adult, you're like, oh, that's obviously different footage because it's a different fucking color.
Did they have any Halloween episodes?
They did, actually.
Yes, they did. And they had a Christmas one, which actually, as a child, I was very frustrated that they didn't transform in that episode. But now, as an adult and understanding how the show was made, I totally get it. But
well, that was Alpha's Magical Christmas.
No, I'm dreaming of a White Ranger is the one I'm thinking.
Aye.
The one that came, I think, later, because
yeah.
When the Alpha one was on, it was still Green Ranger, because
correct. This was by the time White Ranger came around, obviously, because it's in the title. Tommy was the White Ranger at that point. Which actually, one of my favorite clips we have is the short of you talking about, and we uploaded it fairly recently. Was the short we have of you talking about, because I asked you why they made the change from Green to White Ranger, which I already knew, but I was asking for the audience. And then you say something, you're like, oh, because in the original Sentai show, the Green Ranger dies, and you go, spoiler alert, but it's a 30-year-old show, so.
Right. I mean,
if you haven't seen it by now,
I gave you 30 years.
Yeah.
So, 30 plus at this point, because it actually came out, obviously, in Japan before it came out in America.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think, though. I can't think of a Power Rangers Halloween episode.
Yeah, they did. They had a couple, actually. There was one where they had the pumpkin wrapper.
That's right, yeah.
Where he put pumpkins on the Rangers' heads, but also the Putty's heads. Everything he said was in a rap, which was horrifically bad.
Oh, 90s rap, too.
Hey.
Cringe,
Do not diss 90s rap.
90s rap on a kid's show.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, no, 90s rap on a kid's show, dude.
So
it was horrifically bad.
I'm kind of afraid to eat this because it says Hi Chew.
Hi Chew.
Bless you.
Hi Chew. That's not that funny.
So I'm wondering if my mom...
It is when you're high.
I'm wondering if my mom accidentally bought edibles and didn't know that she did. That would be hilarious.
He pressed the funny button. I'm gonna come.
I'm gonna come.
High chews are delicious, though.
Okay, so they're...
You know what's better? Charleston chews.
The hell is that?
Is a high chew the same? Is it like a little caramel thing?
No.
What is it?
Thing.
Oh, is it fruit?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think I've had those before, but Charleston chew, it's literally just like a caramel, like, I wouldn't say a liquor stick, but I don't know what to explain it. It's like a cylinder tube of caramel, and it's just delicious. Chewy. You've never had it?
Never even heard of it.
Nope.
They're pretty good. Called Cowtails.
Oh, Cowtails.
Dude, we've heard of Cowtails.
Yeah.
Oh, I know,
Literally
but
what it says on the package, though, is Cowtails.
but aren't they Charleston chews?
I've never heard that before.
Well, I've had a Charleston chew, and it's similar to Cowtails. Maybe that's where I'm getting confused.
Maybe.
I don't fucking know anymore.
Cowtails, though, are delicious. I love those, too. But again, that's the fact you didn't.
Cowtails!
Oh,
Oh,
Woo!
would you like a mango, sir?
Nobody likes mango.
No, dude,
I love
mango's
mango.
the shit.
Mango anything, dude. I'm in.
I prefer pineapple.
I thought this was going to be a cherry, but I was like, mango? Hell to the yeah.
Yeah, it's one reason I like high cheese. That's why I like going to that Oriental store that's down the road here.
Oh, you go down there?
Yeah, it's like the closest Oriental store to me, I think.
Yeah.
But they can get stuff in that.
I didn't even think about it. It's literally right down the road.
Yeah, that's right down the road.
Dude, I need to go get a sushi kit. I want to make my own.
They got all that in there.
I was gonna say I guarantee they serve it because what is it? The seaweed wraps and then just their sushi.
Sticky rice.
Yeah, sticky rice. Dude, I love shrimp tempura. Like I would eat it every day. It's amazing. But in sushi.
Anything. The only thing I haven't had because I don't want to try it in this state is sashimi, and that's because
You never had? I've had sashimi at. Honestly, it's weird that I had it there, but what was it? Ruth's Chris.
Yeah, I haven't.
It tastes like
I don't
chicken.
think I've been there.
It literally looks like raw chicken, but it tastes like chicken.
Well, that doesn't make any sense because
It looks raw.
it is raw. That's what.
Oh, I'm sorry. It is raw, and it looks like raw chicken, and it tastes like chicken, but it's not chicken. What is it?
It's fish.
Yeah, it does not taste
It's
like fish at
and
all.
they usually put a kind of sauce, mostly
Soy
probably
sauce.
soy.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you could put whatever else on there. But I don't know what they would put on there.
You know
besides
what?
maybe
If you
teriyaki or something.
if you guys are ever feeling adventurous and you guys like sushi, there's a restaurant up on the north side.
Sushi Club?
No,
That place is awesome.
No.
it looks like a no.
It was
this place-
awesome. Sorry.
I don't like sushi personally, but I know plenty of people that love sushi, and they all say this place has the best. It's a little, which you may have eaten there before if you like sushi, but it's called Ichiban Noodles. It's off Bash Road and 82nd. It looks like a house. Like, it looks like a rundown house.
Bro, I ain't got to go that far. Right across the street right here is called E-Sushi. It's some of the best sushi I've ever had. It's
That's a great place.
amazing.
Okay.
That was good when it was back even when it was New Japan.
And, dude, have you been there for lunchtime?
No.
Dude, it's cheap. You can get a bento box for like $10, and it even comes like. Do you like California roll?
I like all sushi. So
Okay,
far.
well, I'm gonna say it comes with. I think it comes with 2 or 4 pieces of California roll. All like you can get tempura fried vegetables. I don't know if you like that. I love tempura.
Oh yeah.
But tempura fried vegetables
Thankfully, my
and
daughter
tempura
doesn't,
shrimp,
and I take hers too.
dude. It like rice and soup and salad. Or no, it's one or the other. I don't know.
Oh, shit.
It's good.
Well, never mind. I guess I won't invite you guys to the north side.
No, I was say if you want, we
Nice
come.
there.
We
Which
come here.
actually, You, but I don't know that you'd be
Where are
heartbroken.
you living now? There's tons of places around here.
Oh, dude.
You know, this is a hot spot because there's a Honda factory just.
Yeah,
down
but
the
the
road.
funny thing is, Honda, Cummins.
And Cummins.
You know, so everybody here though, you know, they all work for the factories, but if you know, they don't pay enough, so everybody's broke in this town. This seems like a rich town. It's broke. I've learned things since moving here to Columbus.
Cummins pays pretty well. I do have a family member that works there.
Like
He
$20
works a lot
an
of
hour.
He works. Well, he's been there for a long time though.
Yeah, and they force you to work 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Like it's 10-hour days, 7
Yeah.
days a week, and I'm just
He's
like,
okay with that because he's got an easy job. So for him, it's like. I'll do
oh
it.
yeah, that definitely makes sense.
Oh yeah. So for him, it's no brainer. But yeah, no. In this town, there's like.
Oh, I'm not.
Taku's amazing.
Taku is good. They have really good crab rangoon.
So you might be disheartened to hear this because you love telling that story about the waitress that was trying to jump your bones.
Oh my gosh, dude.
But that place is really going downhill fast.
Man, it wasn't that
'Cause he
good.
found out it was a dude.
It was good. Did we go there twice?
Yes, we went there twice.
The
It was
first time we
really
went, it was
good.
great. The second time, trash, right?
It wasn't trash, but it was noticeably worse.
Yeah.
Than the first time we went, but the second time was hilarious because that's when that waitress was like all up in your shit.
Yeah, dude, that was awkward. Like I'm not, one to like shy away from, someone flirting, but she was way obvious, and I was like, I'm definitely wearing a ring, so
No, she was coming on pretty strong.
like soy sauce.
Wasabi.
She probably had some wasabi.
She wanted to know if you liked it spicy.
Sashimi. Come sashimi.
Sashimi coming.
Dude.
So yeah, Halloween.
This is what happened. We get sidetracked.
That's like I said.
That's what he's talking about. We just want to start doing just numbers.
Yeah, where we can just like get to Joe Rogan territory where it's like you can talk about anything. It doesn't matter. People still tune in, which are some of our best episodes. But,
Dude, shit.
God damn.
Thank God you're over there. Well, he's gonna have to put his mask back on.
Yeah, no doubt.
I haven't. Mask? You're talking about mask? All those face diapers we had to fucking wear? That's some bullshit.
Then he goes back into the Biden song again.
Biden's in the way.
Wow.
Yeah. So Nick, what in your estimation is the best horror franchise? Period.
Ooh.
Well, you know what? That's subject to each individual.
Wrong.
That's because there's
Wrong.
plenty of debates out there about a lot of things.
Okay.
Because when you say franchise now, it doesn't mean
Universe, TV, movie, different avenues.
correct. There's different avenues for things, but if you're sticking just to movie franchise,
TV.
let's say-
So start
let
with
me
TV.
clarify. Well, let me clarify. So the best horror movie franchise. That's what I meant.
Okay.
I didn't
That's fair.
specify.
So with
In
that-
your opinion.
So with that, it's going to be, and I'm going to probably get a lot of hate for this, but you'll understand it too, is the Scream franchise. Because every movie you can watch and enjoy. There's not one that typically people hate.
Yeah.
There's some that aren't the greatest.
A guy in a mask
Yeah,
chasing people with a knife.
but you enjoy it because it's got, a similar story in each one, but it's a whodunit. And most of the fans actually really enjoy just about every single one of those.
I think I liked the first and second one. That was about it.
I'm
I
sorry.
love the first one.
I just saw myself adjust my name tag and it totally looked like I was rubbing my nipple.
You probably were rubbing it up. You got excited.
What are you wearing, Jake from State
thinking about
Farm?
Scream and thinking about Courtney Cox and those bangs and that.
Khakis.
Actually,
That one Scream movie.
I hated Scream.
That's surprising.
Well,
All of them, or just?
I think I only saw the first two. I was so disgusted by it.
You
It
hate
was
the first one?
oh, dude, I hate.
I saw like up to
Oh my
4,
God. I've
but
never
like
actually met anybody
first
who
and second one
hates
were
the
good.
first one.
Now, to be fair, I probably hated it because I'm not huge on horror movies. I'm not. I thought it was dumb as fuck, but that's just me. And that's one of those things where I'll often say things where like I preface with I know that I'm wrong, but I don't understand how I'm wrong. But I'm wrong because people love Scream. I get it. But to me, Scream and Scary Movie are much closer than a lot of people would like to. Because I laughed the first bit when Drew Barrymore is in the house and he fucking slips and falls or hits something. I can't remember exactly what
That's a
happens.
horror movie trope, though. Like every horror movie, it's like there's even the running gag of the babe tripping in the woods. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, but
running away from.
but for the killer to do it.
Yeah, I mean it was unique, but then again, we didn't have a quote unquote hilarious killer until Freddy Krueger,
And that's true, and that's probably why because I'd seen the Scary Movie
which was
franchise,
also another Wes Craven.
because I'd seen the Scary Movie franchise before I saw Scream.
Yeah, but I mean,
That might have been your downfall.
with
That's what I'm saying.
with the way you have to describe the screams coming from people from I'm sorry, not Friday 13th. What's the horror franchise, guys? Freddy Krueger. Nightmare on Elm Street. Jesus Christ, I can't talk. The screams coming from him, like, yeah, he was a funny character, but it was more like, ha ha, like you were like scared as shit, but you wanted to laugh, because I don't care what anyone says, dude. When you're first watching it as a kid, dude, that shit was terrifying.
What was that laugh again?
Ha ha. It's kind of like one of those feelings when you got a shit and you're on the toilet and it's just not coming. I don't know what that means. Anyway. Why did you? Okay, I thought you left it on me, you asshole. I was like, he's just leaving it on me.
I gotta pee.
Yeah, because we were so confused what was happening right now.
Just so happy for you.
Happy for you.
That's my favorite short, actually. I'm so happy for you.
Fuck that dude.
Great, now he's gone. Let's fucking talk about it.
Dude. Oh.
No, that's up for debate, dude. I mean, everybody has their own favorite franchise, whether it's Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Halloween. Halloween's a big one, but then, like I said, there's people who don't like, say, 4, 5, or 6 because of what they did to the franchise. There's people that don't like H2O or Resurrection. And that's fair because, like, a lot of the sequels to Halloween, they're not all great.
No, but
So,
I did. We were actually talking about Rob Zombie's version, and we really liked the first one, but wasn't a big fan of the second one.
yeah, I had read somewhere that, like, he didn't want to do a second one, but he was contracted to do another one. So he kind of just did whatever he wanted, which basically a lot of people equate his second film to, like, an acid trip, which kind of makes sense after watching the film, for the first time, because I didn't know what the hell was happening.
None of it was
the
memorable.
horse. Why is, like, Myers' mom, like, all, like, wispy and ghosty looking, and, like, it's like... And in the beginning, I thought Michael was racist at the beginning of that film. He was killing everybody like normal until he got to that black nurse, and man, he just went to fucking town on her, like straight up. And it's like, oh damn, dude, all right, chill out.
Yeah,
but he only did it to her. He didn't do it to nobody else. So it's like,
Rob Zombie was trying to get at something.
Maybe. I don't know. It was so
Happy
funny.
Halloween, brother. Oh, Jake.
He's taking a spooky dookie.
Dude, he's about the only person I know that shits at night. I don't know about you. I'm a morning guy.
I just, shit when I have to, but I have no preference.
No, you stay there. Everybody else got to sit there. I might as well too.
Hey, it's actually kind of nice to sit over there in the control panel. But
Until he spills his drink. all
I
over
moved
everything.
the camera right there. Yeah, actually, I'm going to grab my drinky drink then.
You're drinking. You want your telephone too?
I will
there,
like
buddy?
my telephone. My telephone, oh no, Bono. You know what my favorite
So,
horror
while
franchise?
you were gone, we did
Oh, yeah.
to say
Oh, I
there
listened.
was Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, but everybody typically doesn't like a certain movie out of those. Like,
Hold on, I'll
so
get you.
to say a favorite franchise is pretty subjective to the individual.
Yeah, I was always thinking of it as in like the sum of its parts. Like for me, that would be Halloween. But like you said, there's some movies that I'm not going to say they're garbage in that franchise, but there are definitely some that people just don't like. There's even continuities that people don't like in Halloween. But it's kind of hard to not love the franchise itself because it is, in many ways, it's the OG. Like it's not the first horror movie, but it's kind of the first of its kind that got,
Right.
you know.
I mean, it's one that for sure has a huge following. I mean, they just celebrated the 45th anniversary of it.
Yeah.
Which is wild. And when you think about it, that first Halloween set the precedence for everything going forward. I mean, because it is considered to be like a masterpiece of horror, which makes sense.
Well, the fact that it was made, what was it made in 78?
78.
And it still holds up like pretty well. Like some
For
some of the techniques are dated, but I mean, you can't help that. And at the time it was like, but I mean, you can still show that to somebody who's never seen a horror movie before and it's still scary. And then you have some, this might be sacrilegious to some people, but like then you have movies like The Exorcist, which I'll be honest, it doesn't hold up.
The first Exorcist I think is pretty great, but
It's a good
It's-
movie, but it just
it
it
doesn't
doesn't.
beat all the ones that are coming out lately. Like I saw Exorcist Believer, and
Oh
I
yeah,
wish I didn't.
yeah. Did you
really
watch?
Yeah,
Oh man.
Oh, that sucked. Did you watch The Pope's Exorcist?
I did. Yeah.
What'd you think about that? I haven't watched it yet.
I mean, it was really odd, especially the ending.
Yeah, I'm not watching it for the horror side though. I'm watching it for Russell Crowe.
I mean, I was watching it for both because I am a Russell Crowe fan.
Yeah, so yeah.
So to me, I was hoping it would be good, and it wasn't. He was the best part of it, easily. But overall, it wasn't that good. I mean, kind of like B-rated horror. I mean, especially with the special
really?
effects.
Oh
that
yeah.
came in later. That's kind of my biggest problem with a lot of horror today, is it's mostly special effects.
So I gotta
If
ask.
they could do practical effects like way back in the day, that's what made horror great.
Yeah.
Even B horror.
Yeah. So what did you think about Smile? Did you see it?
I did, yeah.
What did you think about that?
I
'Cause-
laughed so hard in that movie.
Really?
Yeah, no
I
joke.
didn't like it.
I even took my daughter to it, and we laughed at the same part.
What part did you laugh at?
So when she goes to that doctor or psychiatrist,
The
whatever,
therapist,
I
yeah.
can't remember, yeah, therapist, and then she starts to smile. The moment we saw her smile, that was supposed to be scary, we laughed our fucking asses off.
Okay, well clearly
It was
I'm
like,
weird.
Wow, I was like, this is not what I expected. But the thing was, it was so predictable that my 14-year-old daughter can predict what's happening next. Like we would talk about, because we were the only ones in the movie theater.
Oh, I would have
So-
loved to have heard that
So this
commentary.
was more like Mystery Science Theater going on with this movie with me and her, as we're like making fun of certain parts and we're talking about what's going to happen next. And for the most part, we were pretty accurate.
It was
so
pretty
it was
easy
very
to-
predictable.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the unfortunate thing with some horror movies too, is they fall into this trap.
Well, that's crazy because I watched it and like to me it was terrifying, but I'm not a big horror movie buff, so obviously it would have hit me a little bit different. Like the concept of it was absolutely horrifying to me, and I thought it was. I'm not going to say it was like completely original, but I thought it deviated quite a bit from the horror that I've been seeing coming out.
Dude,
Yeah.
I've got a good one for you. Did you watch The Barbarian?
Yes.
That was
Because
awesome.
I'm a huge Justin Long fan as well.
Dude, I like Justin Long,
And-
and I like what's his 6'4" dude? Played Pennywise. What's his name?
Oh, Bill
Skarsgård?
Bill Skarsgård. I thought he was going to be in the movie longer. I was bummed about that.
Yeah, the trailers made it seem like he was.
Yeah, but
like
then
the main
Justin
attraction
Long ends up
because
being the
then-
freaking main guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is so weird. But I was like, I'm glad we got both. I was like, I like both those guys.
Yeah, I do too. And
that movie was fucking
I was disappointed
good.
we didn't get more Bill Skarsgård in it, but it's fine. I got Justin Long, so
I know, right?
I wish they would have advertised him more for that film though.
I have to make a confession. I literally just watched Accepted the other day.
Oh, that's
Just?
a good movie.
Just watched it, and
Hilarious.
yeah, dude, that's possibly one of my favorite movies now. And
You
I
know
was
what, though?
I'm
It's
pissed because I just saw it.
You know what, though? I will say this about Accept. Don't get me wrong. Accepted's one of my favorite movies. I saw it when it came out in the theater. And considering that it came out in 2006, and that's the year we graduated,
Yeah.
that movie really resonated with me and its overall
it was set
message.
in October of 2006.
Yeah, so we had just graduated like that
Yeah.
spring. But the thing about Accepted is it is very much a product of its time. Like, it's...
It's encapsulated to that moment.
Yeah.
But you can still
it's-
enjoy it if you're not from that time. But if you were in or around high school or college at that time, it really, really resonates. What were you trying to tell me
I'll
to
say
do?
just scoot your chair over a little bit so you're centered.
Oh, did I?
You're like almost there, but when you lean over a little bit, it just.
Nah,
I'm
you're fine.
Yeah, whatever.
But anyway, fuck that dude. Jake from State Farm got me the worst deal ever on my Ford pickup truck, and yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
did you
that's-
bundle it with your home though?
Well, I mean, you guys told me I couldn't bundle with my home because I sleep in the back.
Well, then
Damn it.
then technically you did bundle it with your home, but your home
I
is
understand that, but you
undervalued.
wouldn't give me a better deal
Listen,
because I was getting a bundle.
Listen, sir.
I need
I
a
understand.
bundle of insurance. Damn it.
I understand you're frustrated, but like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. But sometimes we're going to close the door.
I'm calling Allstate. I'm in good hands.
They'll give you a good hand job at Allstate.
Well, shit.
Are you in good hands?
You know, the weird thing about those contacts, though, is like at certain angles, I can't tell if you're looking at me or not.
Or the camera.
Well, does it give me lazy eye look?
No, it's
dude.
Oh, look at the
Can you do lazy eyes?
kinder,
Lazy eyes with the freaking contact.
kinder.
I can see the extra bird in the picture. At the same time.
Well, I did want to ask you about one other Exorcist movie before we get too far away,
Oh, I'll go to you.
because I value your horror opinion.
Your horror opinion.
Your horror opinion. Your horror opinion.
I know. I try to tell people I go to a horror convention. They're like, "You went to a horror convention?"
Oh, you went to AVN too?
And I'm like, it's like, well, you know.
That was probably the most Bob and Tom moment we've ever had.
That sounds more like that Bob's Gun commercial. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Is that the guy who's like, I don't want to make any money?
Don's Guns.
Don's
That's what it
Guns.
was.
I drove by there the other day. I didn't realize it was that close to my house.
Was that? Okay.
That's the guy who's
Oh,
like,
I can make money.
I just love selling guns.
That dude scared the shit out of me at those night commercials.
But,
when I was a kid.
What did you think of The Exorcism of Emily Rose?
It was okay. I mean, I will say it was better than a lot of the other Exorcist movies I watched. But again, there's not really been a great Exorcist movie except The Exorcist. That was the epitome of great, and they started off so strong. It's like, where do you go from here?
Okay,
Just about every exorcism movie is roughly the same. I mean,
Somebody's
it's
possessed, they bring in a
somebody's
priest,
possessed,
yeah.
But
But
it's kind of like the Nun movies, like
I was just going to ask you about The Nun, because I had, like,
Yeah.
how you reacted to Smile. That was me in the theater watching The Nun, because I'm also...
the first one or the second one.
I haven't seen the second one yet. I've heard the second one's actually decent.
I mean,
It's better than the first
it's
one,
not
right?
got many great reviews, but at least the first one had the Nun in it more.
Well, the first one's trash.
So, but to be fair, to me anyway, all the Conjuring Universe movies, with the exception of the first two Conjuring films, Conjuring 1 and 2, have all been pretty bad.
Yeah,
That's again in my opinion, but I mean it's none of them like the Annabelles. They're not very good.
well, I mean, Annabelle franchise didn't even get the doll right.
Well, I don't think people are going to be really scared of a Raggedy Ann doll.
That, to me, that makes it creepier. Because, like, okay, you look at the Annabelle doll in the movies, right?
Right.
You look at that and you're like, oh, that's obviously possessed. Like, that thing is just evil looking.
So the real one was
Oh, yeah, they made
supposed to be Raggedy Ann?
Yeah, the
So
real one's a Raggedy Ann
actual
doll.
Annabelle doll that was based on was a Raggedy Ann doll that was possessed.
Allegedly.
Oh.
Well, but so here's my thing about the nuns, because I'm also a bit of a religious nerd. So the first thing I said, spoiler alert for the Nun, is they start out the movie and they're basically explaining like it needs to possess somebody. So I'm like, cool.
why are you still there? Because it can't leave the place without a body. So fucking leave. Like, this is not complicated.
Wait a second.
So you're
sir.
making too much sense in a horror.
It gets better.
Wait a second, sir. Jake from State Farm, are you
Yeah.
talking about religion? HR's gonna have to talk to you.
Oh, it's okay. It's after hours.
It's religious horror.
Yeah, it's religious. It's horror. It's horror religion.
You can't
Yeah.
do it in an employee uniform.
So, but and then here's the best. This is the biggest thing about The Nun that I mean, this honestly pissed me off, and I
Your
wouldn't.
spiritual dick.
I wouldn't. Funny you mentioned spiritual dick.
Oh my god.
No, I'm not even a religious person, but like, the premise of your movie is that this is it's Christianity, right? That's the religion we're talking about in the movie The Nun.
Right.
In that movie, there is a virgin nun who literally puts the literal blood of Christ in her mouth, spits it onto the demon, and that demon doesn't instantly die, perish, explode, whatever. Like, the literal blood of Jesus Christ, and the demon is still alive.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was a huge plot hole for that film, and the fact that even led to what everything happened in that second one, I was just like, that's no. Because that
Well,
was a
we'd be-
huge plot hole in that first film, like
Well,
huge.
that would be my inspiration to change religions, like, immediately. I was like, well, that one didn't work.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, the only good ones were The Conjuring and The Conjuring 2.
Now, I've heard that. I saw The Conjuring a long time ago, and I remember, and like, as somebody who doesn't believe in any of this stuff, I will say it's still freaky. Did you watch Annabelle Comes Home, though?
Oh yeah, I've seen them all.
That one
That's why I
wasn't-
say, like, they're okay.
That one was
Some are
decent.
garbage, but-
The Curse of La Llorona was flat out
Oh
garbage.
yeah, no, that was.
The best part of that was seeing Tuco Salamanca again, because he's
They
in
say
it.
that was in the Conjuring verse, but they didn't do any real connection to it.
They did a real loose connection.
It's very loose. I mean, like,
I think it's the priest that the mom talks to at one point is the same priest from the Annabelle franchise or something. But the Annabelle franchise spans, what, 60 years in
something
total?
like that. Because
Yeah.
the Annabelle story takes place before The Conjuring does, obviously, because it's how The Conjuring starts. The first one
Right.
was with the Warrens going and
Yeah.
taking that doll.
Did you ever watch It Follows?
Yes, and I actually really enjoyed that film.
I liked it, but the concept was just funny to me because I'm like, it's an STD metaphor.
It's a ghost STD.
I called it a sex ghost the whole movie. I'm like, oh, I did a Scooby Doo bit a couple times in the movie. I'm like Scoob,
Like,
it's the sex ghost.
Everybody wants to be sex
Ghost. But yeah, no, but it was an interesting concept, but it was just too close. The fact that it spread through sex and only sex was kind of like that. Is like, is the ghost name's Chlamydia or Chlamydia, the not so friendly ghost?
That bitch is always spreading her friendliness.
But I will say, the creature itself was freaky because there were some shots that were legitimately freaky. Like,
It follows.
yeah,
Yeah.
because you can't see it unless you've
Infected.
contracted it.
Oh.
So, but there's a scene where like
Postponed.
the girl's hair goes up, and everybody else sees just her hair go up, and the thing's about ready to like do its thing. So and then there's parts where, but how the end of the movie is what ruined it for me because I'm like, oh, so you can kill it. So that's kind.
So then that actually.
Yeah,
doesn't-
with modern day medicine. Kidding. It's not how it ends.
a little freaking penicillin shot.
Who'd have thought some antibiotics will clear it right up?
Fucking
A little
antibiotics.
cranberry juice will clear that puppy right up.
Oh.
Kidding, y'all. That's not how the movie ends. I don't spoil endings of the movies.
I've never seen it. I
I'll
need
tell
to
you
go on a
opinions
horror
on
movie.
Well, I mean they
what I feel about it, but I don't spoil it.
they do use modern technology though. So.
Well, so kind of, sort of, I guess, yeah.
It's a lot scarier back in the 1700s.
Oh, well, it wasn't.
That's valid. That's true.
I'll say if you shit your pants, you knew it was time. How did he die? Dysentery.
Well, that's how, me and Jake would have went in Florida.
Oh God. Do you know that story?
No.
Oh, dude. Oh, this is Nick should tell it. It's
Oh, good God. We ate at a Japanese restaurant while we were down there, because we were down there for a martial arts tournament. And we were staying in a hotel room together. Flew down there and everything like that. We were like, oh, it's like 12 blocks away though. We're like, we'll walk there instead of taking a bus or whatever.
Yeah, we were young and spry. It wasn't that bad.
So it was nothing back in the day.
We made that mistake.
Well, we made a different mistake. We walked in the country.
Well, I wish we were walking in the country. I wouldn't have
Actually, yeah, we would have just rolled over into a ditch and.
But we ate at this Japanese restaurant, and man, we weren't even 5 minutes away.
By the way, Kissimmee, Florida, Osaka, stay away.
Oh, like it hit us at the same time too, and it was one of those weird moments where we just like looked at each
dropped
other,
at the same time.
and we looked at each other and we're like, what?
Simultaneously realizing that we're 12 blocks away from the hotel.
And we never ran so fast in our lives.
But
Stupidly enough, we were closer to the restaurant than we were our hotel. We could have just went back to the restaurant.
Yeah, because there's only one bathroom in the hotel. Well, I mean,
that
That's
came
where the
in
story is,
that came into play.
Because we raced there.
Except I thought I had it made because I had the key.
That was his mistake in thinking.
Oh no,
I had the key.
this lad was
I
cunning.
don't have to outrun the bear. I just have to outrun you. That's exactly what Jake was thinking.
Well,
Except
that
the
guy,
bear was
that
his
guy has
asshole.
never moved so fast in his life that I was,
And
toe to toe with him basically the whole way there.
And you gotta imagine, this isn't a normal run. This is the cheek clinching, like pelvis thrust, a little bit forward
yeah.
run.
Usain Bolt had nothing on us.
No.
We made it back to that hotel room in record time.
Up on the second or third
Second.
floor. Second floor.
Second floor. As soon as he opened the door, I bolt right past him.
Tackles me.
Like,
knocks
straight
me
up.
onto the bed.
Straight
Like
up, like
not that guy.
whoosh,
Yeah, like shoulder tackle. I land on the bed.
Sexy.
What's funny is we bypassed the lobby because we wanted to go straight up to the room. Well, he gets to the bathroom. I can hear him. It's audible. We'll just put it that way. And I realize this isn't waitable. He's gonna be some time. I have one choice. I have to go to the lobby.
Oh, I thought he was about to say the sink.
I wasn't gonna bridesmaids it.
Well, I'm glad he didn't, because that would have been awkward. But
Well,
I would
but-
have understood it because, wow.
Yeah, but the funny
I
thing
never
is,
understood that diarrhea song as much as I did at that moment.
but the best part though is I finally finish up and I just kind of sheepishly walk out of the lobby because everybody knows what I did. I was in there for quite some time. I come back and he's just on the bed, fucking sweating.
Dude, it was an emotional experience. It was.
He was like, it was emotional, it was spiritual, it was everything.
It was
I met
everything.
God on the toilet.
I did.
That was such a great trip though. Other than that,
His name was Feces.
Yeah, that's the one we talk about the most. The story from that the most.
the other thing about that trip that I love, this is,
Osaka trip.
and I'm not even kidding you, this actually happened. We're on the plane, and you make a joke about Gone in 60 Seconds always being on TV, right? We get to the hotel room. I shit you not. One of us turns on the TV. Not only is Gone in 60 Seconds playing, it's the fucking title card. It actually, TV turns on and Gone in 60 Seconds comes right across the screen.
Nah, what he didn't tell you is he looked at the guide before he got in there.
Well, no, because what year was
Bro, I'm not
that?
smart enough for that.
Was that was 2004 or 5, right?
Yeah, that was the scrolling. Oh shit,
That was
the scrolling guide.
2005.
Yeah, 2005. So that was when, which, I mean, you're right. Gone in 60 Seconds was on cable all the time.
That
It was
back
just
when
very.
porn was on fuzzy channels.
Or channels you had to pay for.
They took our.
It's when you got it's when you got
They
the
took their jobs.
gerbs.
Oh God, South Park's had some really good Halloween episodes.
Yes, actually,
Yeah.
come to think of it.
You know, it's funny and sad at the same time. But after Steve Irwin passed, and that was a huge moment for me, just because I loved his career, I loved his enthusiasm. He was always somebody I actually really wanted to meet.
Yeah.
And the way he died was just so sad. Because he was doing a show with his daughter,
Yeah.
and for that to happen was just such a tragedy.
Do you follow his
I
son?
follow both his kids.
Yeah.
And, I love the work they're doing.
Holy shit!
Love
Talk
the work
about
they're doing.
spitting image.
Yeah.
His son. Holy shit!
Yeah, Robert Irwin, kudos to you, brother.
Yeah.
What you're doing with your dad's legacy is amazing.
And that's a lot to ask of a kid, and you get the sense though that it's actually something he wants to do. He doesn't feel like, or at least I don't get the sense, having not talked to him, I don't get the sense that he feels like he has to. I get the vibe that he genuinely wants to continue that legacy, which
he
is
does.
You
yeah.
can't fake
100%.
that commitment.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I mean,
That
you
passion,
can't really
that
fake the
love.
enthusiasm of jumping onto a fucking crocodile. I mean, you kind of have to be all in. You know?
You definitely got to be a Joe Dirt.
There was a really good video that I saw where I don't know if it was one they made or if it was a compilation someone else made online, but it talked about it was a Steve Irwin interview, but it talked about what he feels he would accomplish in his life, like his legacy, what it's going to be, and it was about his kids.
Yeah.
Him seeing his kids take over that wildlife fight, basically.
Is that the one where he talks about he's like, I'm gonna get a like, yeah, I love money. You know what I'm gonna do with it? I'm gonna buy up land, every bit of it. You know, blah blah blah. Or is that a different one?
No, that's a different one.
That's a different
And
one.
he said he was going to preserve it all.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I mean,
Australia Zoo's got a huge chunk of land, and they just keep trying to do more of that conservation stuff.
well, and that makes sense because there's so much wildlife that's unique to Australia. Like you have to. Kind of the same way with Florida too. You know, there's so much wildlife that's unique to those areas. It's like you have a responsibility. Like, but back to Halloween, I gotta say my favorite South Park Halloween I think is the first one they did. The where Corn guest stars.
Dude,
Antonio, no!
No, dude, the strobe lights in the episode, like we were in the trailer park, because I grew up poor. We all did technically, but it is what it is.
I was gonna say
The
Nick.
strobe lights, dude. We turned off all the lights and we were dancing the Corn. We didn't even know what the fuck was. We didn't even know Corn at the time, did we?
I thought we did. Well, we got the
I
joke.
did.
We got the joke. So yeah, we knew Corn.
I couldn't remember if we did. Yeah. We knew Corn was.
Well, yeah, we had to because the fact that we found it so funny that they were doing the Scooby Doo bit.
That was such a good episode.
That's so good.
Their Halloween ones are pretty good.
Yeah.
But that's where the Steve Irwin thing came in, because when within the week after it passed, because that's what South Park does. They make their stuff within a week, so that way it's fresh and they get their jokes in and stuff like that. But did you ever see that one? It was Satan's Halloween Party, and it was like, saying there's somebody dressed here like Steve Irwin. We really need him to get out of here. And he's like, oh, okay. He's like, hey man, this is some bad taste. I really need you to leave. He's like, but Satan, I really am Steve Irwin. He's like, get out. So,
But see, I don't understand. I don't
at
understand.
the time, like I get South Park. That's what they do.
Well, but that's
really
not
do.
an offensive joke because Satan's telling Steve Irwin to literally get out of hell.
Yeah, I see where you're going with there.
But I think people.
That's actually a good taste joke, really, if you think about it.
I mean, yeah, because of all the people to be in hell, I mean, Steve Irwin is
Does not belong there.
Yeah, like.
Oh, no, not by a long shot does he belong there.
Yeah, not even close. And that's why it's funny, because it's like, you don't belong here.
But we also don't know the context of what Matt Parker and Trey were trying to convey either.
Matt and
It could have
Trey.
been rude, or it could have been.
Just because of their style and their taste, I took it more as a rude statement at the time. I'd have to go back and watch it again.
Yeah, I
just
think you're
remember that
right.
Being a moment
Yeah.
where I was like, dude, come on, he just passed away. Like,
I think you're right, but at the same time, to kind of defend Matt and Trey, it's kind of like, again, the way they do things, they kind of have to go after everybody, but
that's fine if they're like alive and
that's fair, yeah.
they didn't just pass away.
That's
doing a
fair.
show with their daughter.
That's fair. That's fair.
There are lines I feel they cross, but it is South Park. They wouldn't be who they are if they didn't cross lines.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But they did have some good Halloween episodes, as far as that goes. I mean, movie-wise, I haven't really seen anything great lately.
Oh, from horror, you mean?
Yeah.
No.
What can
I
they
did watch
do?
Talk to Me, and that was actually pretty good.
Oh, yeah? That's the phone app one, isn't it?
No, that's actually more supernatural, almost Ouija hand in a way.
Okay.
I won't put it that way. So basically, it's a device that allows you to connect to the spirits that are around you.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And the concept is like you let the spirit into your body, but if you keep it in there too long, they have a little more foothold into your actual, I want to say the living plane,
Yeah.
rather than the non-existential plane. So it's interesting. It's an interesting concept, and the way they ended the film was really good. And they're actually doing a second one. So it did well enough. Like A24 Studios is like
They're
doing really well.
yeah,
with their
and
horror
and
films.
what's funny is they're doing like you said earlier, they're doing a lot of I don't know if it's not all practical effects, but and they're not just doing horror films, but they did The Whale too.
I still need to see that.
Here's the thing. This isn't a Halloween movie, by the way, anyone, but it's worth seeing for Brendan Fraser's performance. The movie itself is problematic, but it's worth seeing for Brendan Fraser's performance.
That was
It
the
is.
main reason I wanted.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Brendan Fraser fan.
Oh, dude, he nails it, knocks it out of the park.
When he went away for that while, I was like, man, I get it.
Man, not a horror film, but I rewatched The Mummy not too long ago.
Actually, that's.
Shit holds up.
Oh no, that holds up by far. There's actually a poll done. I didn't start it, but some other people did. It's like, what was your favorite Mummy movie? They included the Karloff one, and all the other ones. The Tom Cruise one, which was trash. But Brendan Fraser's Mummy won out in that poll. Like people who
Oh, dude,
like
it's-
that by far.
It's such a good movie.
Yeah, dude.
And it was phenomenal. Yeah,
That's the best. That's one of the greatest parts.
It's good.
so good. I didn't realize they used CG because that was the era where CG really was kind of picking up.
But you know what's funny? And everybody talks about the CG in The Mummy. But, it's not good CG, but who cares?
It was back in the day, but we all played video games back then. Oh man, this is so real. Never get more real than this. This
dude.
is WrestleMania 2000 on N64. We're like, this is so real.
I was
dude.
just talking about that the other day because I was playing a PlayStation 2 game and I was like, wow, this looks horrible. But I was like, I still love the game.
Oh, dude, do you remember when Legend was... I don't remember if it was... I think it was you or Joel, but I was playing it with somebody. It was first. It might have been Keatle. But somebody said something that was like, it's so lifelike with Ocarina of Time. Well, I mean...
That was probably Keatle.
It was a free roaming environment, though. Like, kids today don't get it. Like, that was a
huge
whole
back in the
new
day.
world, man. Like, you could explore shit. And now the level of exploration you have in video games now, like any of the Assassin's Creed games, it's like
dude, we
Spider-Man.
were so excited
Spider-Man,
to go
yeah.
fishing and Link Ocarina of Time. Jesus Christ.
Link of Time.
Yeah. What?
Link of Time. That's the next
Said
Zelda
Ocarina of
game.
Time. Link of Time?
Dude, hear me out. Zelda multiverse game. Link in Time.
Kind of like Turtles in Time.
I mean, yeah.
That's a fucking great game.
That might be the greatest turtle game.
That is
It's
the
good.
greatest turtle
I do
game.
love that turtle game quite a bit.
It's good. I actually had Back to the Future in my head for some reason, but like
Great Scott.
hey man, Back to the Future.
Oh, that's where it's at.
Don't get me started. Like that's Back to the Future might be a perfect movie.
Watch all three back to back.
You know what's funny? When I was younger, I didn't like Part 3 at all, and as I've gotten older, I really appreciate it. I might like it a little bit more than Part 2 now. I know.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I'd have to go back and watch them again to say that. But.
Which, by the way, I'm going to plug something else. I plugged it on the podcast before, but if you're a Back to the Future fan, so I can shoot you a link to it. You know the Nostalgia Critic, his YouTube channel, the Channel Awesome or whatever? They do a series on there. It's not the Nostalgia Critic, but I forget what it's called. But basically, they take a concept for sequel and they kind of like lay out a treatment for it. They did a proposal for Back to the Future Part 4, and as somebody who was vehemently against making another Back to the Future movie, after I watched their video and they outlined what they, like their idea for a Part 4, I'm like, it really sucks that this movie will never get made. It's that good.
Because of Michael J. Fox.
Yeah. And that's, oh man, because honestly, it's so good. And they don't go through the whole story. I kind of wish they would. I would love for them to do like a radio drama of it. But they do certain parts, but they explain the overall story. It's so good. I'm like, man, I really wish this movie could get made.
With how good
I
everyone's
need
getting
that.
the
I want
animated.
to check that out.
Oh, dude, here's what I have. I have it on, I saved it because I have a folder on my Google Drive of what I call YouTube archive of stuff that I have from YouTube that just in case that ever comes off YouTube, I have the video. That was the first thing I downloaded from it because I want to preserve that because I consider it in my head it's canon. It's Back to the Future Part 4 because it's that good. And then there's the Telltale game which I haven't played but I want to. Back to the Future Telltale game.
So there's a few fan ones out there of different franchises and stuff I've read of continuations or reimaginings that are a lot better than what Hollywood's given us.
Yeah.
And I just don't understand some of the choices they make about things, like even the new Goosebumps series on Disney Plus.
Which is what I meant to ask you about, because I was about to ask and then I forget. I got sidetracked with Candy. I was like, they're remaking the Goosebumps series, yeah?
Right. So they are on episode 7 right now of 10 in this first season. I imagine there's going to be more. There's already talks about a second season happening. And I've been asking people online what their opinions are. I've given mine, obviously, a few on my Instagram page, because that's what mostly I am about, is Goosebumps. So, of course, I had to talk about the show a little bit. I haven't gone truly in depth yet, just because it's not over yet.
Is Stein involved?
So, just like the 90s show, I mean, their stuff is based on his work, but he's not really involved.
That's fair.
This is the same guy. I don't know if you guys ever watched the movies, Goosebumps 1 and 2.
With Jack Black?
With Jack Black.
I
At
can't
least the
remember.
first one. The first one I thought was good. The second one, not so much, because the problem was, it was very, very much more comedy than actual comedy and horror like Goosebumps is supposed to be. But also, Jack Black was barely in it as Stein. And they didn't have a lot of Goosebumps monsters. That was kind of the problem for me in the Goosebumps 2 movie. And that's where the problem comes in on this show.
Sorry, did anybody notice the judgment on his face when he said it was more comedy? He's like, it's more comedy.
Yeah.
Well, because it was Jack Black. And that's what
No, I'm talking about, that was fine. I thought he did well. In the first movie, he did well. And that's what he starred in mostly. He was more cameo in that second film. But that's what they focused on in the second film, was mostly just slappy and mostly comedy. And it was like, where's the horror in all this?
What year did the second film come out?
Oh, geez, 20...
Was it 2020?
No, it was before that. 2017,
Oh,
2018.
wow. Okay.
I can't remember what year it came out now, but that was the problem I had. But the thing is, Rob Letterman, who directed, and I think maybe co-wrote those, but I know he directed, is the same guy who's doing this Goosebumps series. And the premise is pretty much the same, just spread out over, it's kids trying to stop monsters who are unleashed in this town. Same concept from the movies for the most part. So it's like he's reusing that, which, whatever. But it's just the way he uses R.L. Stein's work, which was barely any at all. That's kind of the problem for me.
Yeah.
A lot of people were claiming it's too woke. I don't think it's too woke. They do, of course, have a gay or a trans character, whatever the case may be, in one of these kids, character of James. But they don't overly focus on that.
Well, how old is he?
Well, I mean, these kids are actually, 20-somethings playing 16, 17-somethings, what I mean? So
And they're like, Mom, I've got to go to school.
light you a lucky and send you on your way.
But which I might sound stupid for this, I didn't know. So the original series is on Netflix now, isn't it?
Well, it was.
Oh, I thought it said it
And
was.
It's just the specials that are on there now. So it's not every episode.
Oh, okay. Man, you want to talk about a series that was really good. Considering it was 1995 especially.
Yeah.
I think I know what you're gonna say.
No, I mean, I'm just saying it was good.
Oh, I thought you said that a series that was really good.
Oh, no,
But you're talking about
Goosebumps.
Something else.
No.
I was gonna say, Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah.
I actually
That was a great one,
preferred
too.
that over Goosebumps. I liked Goosebumps.
There are a lot who
but
did, because
Yeah.
they thought that was a much darker, scarier show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to be fair, some of the episodes were.
Dude,
Yeah.
the one with the
Ghastly
fucking pool.
Grinner was my favorite.
Which I don't remember that one.
And
So
then
that was the one where the kid was a comic book artist and wanted to be a comic book artist, and he goes to the store, and the person who runs the store invited him to a special event. It was just him, though, because his art style was similar to an artist who wrote The Ghastly Grinner, and it was a villain story, and the person who originally wrote it went missing, and you find out, well, he's trapped inside the comic book because of the Ghastly Grinner, but he lets out the Ghastly Grinner into the real world. And the thing is, he's kind of Jokerized these people, in real life. He starts laughing, this ooze starts coming out of his mouth, and the next thing you know, people are actually starting to laugh, maniacally, and they got stuff coming out of their mouth. It was creepy. Look it up. It's creepy as crap, but that's actually, I think, on Paramount Plus.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah. Yeah, because it was Nickelodeon. Yeah, it should be on Paramount Plus.
Because I watched it on there not too long ago.
Yeah.
So I want to say it's still on there.
Paramount Plus is totally worth it, by the way. What is
The
it?
Haunted Pool.
$5.99 a month?
Well, with ads and stuff, it is.
Yeah, but I don't give a shit about ads. so-
See, I do. It takes it out of the story. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care, dude. I'm cheap as fuck. I just downgraded my Netflix subscription to have ads because, dude, no, but seriously, like Netflix, you can go from 20 to 6 just for some ads.
How long are the ads?
I mean, they're usually anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute and a half. It's not.
I'll say it's like Paramount Plus.
You know what's really funny? This shows how it shows how modernized like people are. Like, I changed my plan and I didn't think much of it. And then my girlfriend and I were watching Netflix, and an ad came on, and she was like very concerned that ads came on.
She's like, what the fudge is this?
She did. She's like, "What? This is Netflix?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I downgraded my plan because I'm cheap." But and then shout out to Toast when he watches this freaky stories in
Toast.
Canada.
That was such a good song. I see where you went with that. I really.
Oh, that was when we did a teaser video when we had him on. When we had him on the first time, that was the song I used.
I flipped that way out. French toast. Such a good song.
Dude, Haywood Banks had a good Halloween song too. On what was that album? Picky Picky was the album it was on. Oh no, you know what? No, he had a Halloween song. I'm thinking of the Christmas one. The Christmas one was hilarious. The Halloween song was kind of meh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I remember he had a Halloween song on that album, but
No, I found J.P. Ashkar, really good singer, but he had a Halloween song, and honestly, like, that's really up there for me. Like, he's a great singer. I highly recommend looking up that song. But it's a good Halloween staple. If you're like looking for like a playlist of stuff, I'd add that on there. Because I know like there's other songs like people do know the common known songs. That one's not as common, but I share his every Halloween on my page just to try to get his name out there for that.
good.
Really good song, like, really well written, but he's a great singer. Unlike
So,
saying.
you know, my favorite Halloween song, I just played it the other day for the kids.
Purple People Eater,
No.
Orange People Eater. I'm sure you changed the lyrics.
You sing it as Trump because I'm a one-eyed, one-horned, orange, purple people
No,
eater.
It's Nightmare on My Street. Will Smith. That shit was so crazy. It was so funny. And there was a nightmare on my street.
So talking about movies that didn't hold up, well, I don't think it was good when it came out, but if you rewatch Wild Wild West,
Oh God.
it's even worse now.
I don't think I've ever seen it all the way through.
That's why I just
Don't.
watched South Park. Going back to that for watching Cartman, South Park. Yeah.
You know what? I will say this
Oh
though.
my God.
In defense of that movie, though, I don't blame Will Smith, and I think the flaw wasn't with him necessarily. It definitely wasn't with Salma Hayek, not at all. But the rest of it was kind of yeah. And plus, if you know the story, the producer, I can never remember his name, but the guy who produced that movie, Kevin Smith, talks about his interaction with him when he was being tapped to write Superman Lives, which we saw a nod to in the Flash movie with the Nick Cage Superman.
With a giant spider.
Yeah, with the giant spider. The producer, just do yourself a favor and go on YouTube and watch, just search An Evening with Kevin Smith and Superman, and you should find the story. It's worth. I'm not going to spoil it
It's
for you.
worth it.
It's
That's
definitely
just
worth
good.
it. It is funny as shit. And now we know it's accurate because of what they did with the cameo in The Flash. Because you got Nick Cage Superman fighting a giant spider. But
Yeah.
I love the end of the story, and Kevin Smith's like, so I go watch the Wild Wild West movie, and then lo and behold, what do I see? A giant spider.
Yeah, that giant spider story is.
Hollywood people are weird.
Yeah.
What is it with a giant spider in a lot of movies? It
Go.
the '90s version, they had the giant spider.
Well,
and
see, what's funny about that even was like
that was so terrible.
that was bad, and
Yeah,
even
speaking of that,
even like
could count
Tim
as a
Curry
horror
was
movie.
like,
Yeah, that's a
oh,
horror
that's very
movie.
much a horror
Yeah.
movie. Like
Okay, so
horror movies in general just encompass Halloween. They doesn't have to necessarily take place on
so
Halloween night.
so I'm gonna
There's actually
pit.
very few movies that take place on Halloween night.
Yeah.
But some good ones, you know, obviously besides Halloween, Trick or Treat, fantastic. They're actually making a second one finally. You know, Mike Doherty talked about that years ago
Is that the one with the little sack head thing?
with Sam. Yeah.
I still consider Jack Frost a Christmas movie.
Oh yeah, the scary version. Did you see that?
I have, yeah.
Oh, it's so terrible.
Well, I
It's-
I'd throw that into Christmas horror, obviously, like with Black Christmas, Krampus, and
All right, you were
Stuff
going
like that,
somewhere,
so-
but I want to ask you: have you ever seen Dr. Giggles?
I don't think so. That's one I think I've.
I know a horror movie. Nick doesn't. That says something.
Fun fact: Dr. Giggles is a comedy.
No, it's terrible. It's a dentist, man, and he
Oh, that's right, yeah,
literally
yeah.
just like he cut his own way out of his mother with a scalpel. I'm like, how did you get a scalpel inside the womb?
You're thinking too much.
Yeah.
She swallowed it, obviously.
I know, and then he cut himself out, and then he killed her. And then he started killing people because he became a dentist.
I would consider that
And
fatal.
they called him. His name was Dr. Giggles.
Wait. So hang on. He cut himself out with a scalpel, and he became a dentist, not a surgeon.
I know.
See,
You're
I
thinking
know.
too much.
You think too much.
Shit, I was gonna ask. Oh, did you see the trailer for that Thanksgiving horror movie?
Yes.
You know what? I
You know
started.
what?
I started
I'm
laughing
actually,
at it.
Intrigued by that.
I started
Actually,
laughing
wanna
at
see
it. Yeah, I started chuckling at it, and then I'm like, okay, I'm kind of intrigued. Do you consider the Purge horror movies?
Mm.
A lot of people do. I mean, it's killing.
I can
it's-
see it,
So,
but
I mean, I can see it in a way. And they do sell masks at Halloween time. Trick or Treat Studios, which is a huge Halloween company, sells their masks. So, I mean, I'd consider it
Horror,
just because
yeah.
it kind of goes
oh,
into that.
by the by, do you remember I sent Virus this year some of those masks, some of the more off-brand ones, because they're really similar. You remember Setsei, right? The bassist. They're really similar to his, but they're cheaper looking. So I sent him a screenshot of that, and it said Setsei if you buy them from Wish.
Didn't I send you that?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
not for that reason.
Right.
So, but I sent it to Virus, and oh god, he laughed like hysterically for that. Nick has no idea who we're talking about. It's just-
I don't.
He is in a band, and
Yeah.
he is actually on a podcast with Jake.
Mhm.
What's the podcast called, Jake?
Toon Talk 2.0, all things pop culture, and I derail him on every episode, and I have fun with it. He sent the first time he sends me a schedule, right? And I'm like, I skim it, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna fuck this up for you. I'm not shy about it. I told him, I said, man, I don't do this rigid stuff.
We don't play by the motherfucking rules.
He actually said, he was like, I want the
I'm
podcast.
a rebel, Daddy.
Do the roar.
I just think of the lollipop every time I
I know.
get in the roll.
I don't know why that popped into my head, but no, Virus told me, he was like, yeah, I want the podcast to be about 45 minutes to an hour, and I was like, no.
How long did it end up being?
Oh, dude, the average one's at least an hour and a half, 2 hours. But we actually we recorded our Halloween episode, but it will be going on YouTube tomorrow, so day before Halloween. Alexander comes back on. Alexander's kind of like, he's Virus's Nick, but in all things, which actually I'd love to have you two on together sometime, because he's a big Magic the Gathering player, and he loves horror movies as well, so I could just leave you two on, and I can go do something
Oh,
else.
shit.
It'd be a really good podcast.
If you want to do the horror podcast, if you guys hit it off.
Alexander, I don't know how much free time he's got, but
This guy.
well, I don't know. I know he's a professional poker
Like us
dealer.
all. Oh.
Yeah, so I don't know how. I mean, I guess he's got. I don't know how much free time he has, but plus, I like if you did a podcast, I would dig the vibe of it actually not being on Zoom, so that you can kind of have some ambiance to it.
Yeah. Have a studio-ish.
Hey, man, studio's a loose definition, but you've got a lot of really cool memorabilia that would make a hell of a backdrop.
Oh, yeah.
Look at me like pushing
well, I
him.
mean, that's actually a good point, because I just started doing videos on my Instagram.
Hell
trying
yeah.
to get more comfortable in front of the camera
Sure.
and stuff.
It's
So
not easy.
no, I mean, I just did
You know
my,
what's funny?
first
It's not-
unboxings,
Yeah.
recently from a Trick or Treat Studios haul.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
They did some Goosebumps magnets that look like the books.
Oh shit, that's awesome.
They do look they're really good. You know, they've got figures of Goosebumps from the books coming out later with the Build-A-Figure. You guys remember Curly from Goosebumps, the skeleton? He was
Yep.
kind of the mascot back in the day, up until Slappy took over.
Which makes sense.
So, well, I mean, I always thought of Curly kind of like the Crypt Keeper in a way for Goosebumps. So it's always neat to have him like at the forefront of everything and kind of like here's the story, kids. And they just like slap you or something.
Why is Slappy so
Or-
much more popular than the mask?
I
haunted mask?
guarantee it had went the
The
mask.
haunt-
Oh, the haunted mask.
The
Yeah.
haunted mask that's anytime you think of Goosebumps, you think of the haunted mask. I do at least.
Dude,
I do
I
because
don't think of
that's
Slappy.
my favorite.
I always
actually
think-
was just nominated by another Goosebumps person on Instagram, Goosebumps.podcast, actually, who wanted me to say, what Goosebumps meant to me. And the haunted mask is mostly my collection. I've gotten to meet Tim Jacobus, who did the artwork for the book covers. Really cool guy. He did a haunted mask sketch for me.
What's his name?
Tim Jacobus.
Fuck, you just solved a mystery for me.
What's that?
Okay, so Keatle used to call me Jacobus back in the day because he saw it written on the Goosebumps.
Oh.
And I always remember the one I saw it the first time was the A Night in Terror Tower because he had his name. Of course, he had his name on the artwork, so that's his name. So
Yeah,
you just
it's-
solved a mystery for
Like
me.
every book cover with his art has a little signature of his on there.
Yeah, I always.
Usually it's in the bottom right corner.
Yeah, but
he actually sells prints of his art on his website, jacobusstudios.com.
plug it.
Well, I will. Because it's an amazing opportunity. One, because he donates money to feed the homeless. I think it's what
Thank you.
this is, and so proceeds go to that, which is great.
Sorry.
That is, yeah.
But you can get different sizes of his art prints, and he actually signs them before he ships them to you.
Oh, that's cool as shit.
So you can get his autograph. You can get sketches done by him of different characters that he's done. It's really cool.
He should do the monkey.
Amazing work.
And what site was that?
jacobusstudios.com.
There you go.
So, yeah, he might do that for you. To see if you can do commission work. I don't see why not.
Fuck it, I'll ask. Turn that shit into a T-shirt.
You might do a Goosebump style
That'd be cool as shit.
That would be
average
amazing.
intelligence logo. That'd be really cool.
That'd be cool as shit. That's what we gotta start making some money, people, so we can do
guys,
cool
listen
shit
up.
like that.
We need watch time. Watch us. You don't even
Yeah,
have to
for
watch,
real.
Put it on mute.
And check out the other podcasts on the Arte Podcast Network. And hopefully, Nick, I'm so not trying to strong arm you, but I see talent, and I see you're obviously knowledgeable. I see content that people would love to see. That's all I'm saying. That's why I keep bringing it up
I was
because
telling my wife the other day, I was like, he needs to get on some more social media and do some videos. I was like,
that's cool. I'm
Halloween
so
stuff
glad you're doing
is
that.
so popular, and you would blow up so fast if you just have the right content.
See, and that's the hard part because it's blowing up. Horror has really taken a huge expansion probably in the last 5 to 10 years.
Oh my god!
Not just with conventions, movies, actors, podcasts. I just saw recently, I watch a lot of Derek Millen's Detours on YouTube, and he does Salem videos. That's what he's most famous for. And he's just a regular dude like everybody else. He just wanted to show people what happens in Salem during the month of October. But now he's gotten a little bigger. He's pretty famous in Salem. People want to, if I was there, yeah, I'd be buying that dude a shot too. Why not? I want to hang out. I want to talk to this dude. Really down to earth dude. But that's the thing, that everything blows up. Now Salem gets 500,000 visitors. That's wild. Imagine trying to live there and go to work. Dude,
Yeah.
you ain't getting out of that street where your house is at if you're
Well,
in
yeah,
downtown
but
Salem.
most of the people
That's
probably
insane.
Yeah, but
work
tourism's
within-
probably
yeah.
the big
Tourism
industry
is
there.
their biggest
Yeah.
thing in Salem, for
Yeah.
sure. They're
Yeah.
known as the Witch City.
Well, yeah, for obvious
Their police
reasons.
department has a witch as their logo.
Obviously.
That's insanity. I love it.
And for those of you who, for some reason, may not know why that's the case, Google's free, so it'll take you 2 seconds.
Google
Well,
it.
if you ever heard of the Salem witch trials,
Uh.
stuff that kind of happened there. But it's kind of neat to learn about the history of Salem, the podcast.
Yeah.
They do a really good job with giving you every episode's a history of a
There-
portion of Salem.
There's so much you can do, though, because there's a lot of haunted places in and around Indiana as well. Allegedly
every
haunted.
state has their...
Yeah, but I hear a lot of Indiana shit. You may not know this. I live, what was it? There's a mental hospital that got decommissioned. I forget when it got decommissioned. It's abandoned now. Well, now it's a museum. I shouldn't say it's abandoned. It's across the street from my house. It's allegedly haunted, but it's also a museum. So,
Is it one that you can actually pay to visit?
Mhm.
Okay, I think I've heard of it then.
yeah.
Oh,
Isn't Indiana State Asylum? or
Something like
my
that.
gosh.
Yeah, that's a big tourist attraction, which is supposedly really haunted.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's across the street from a police depot.
So are we doing
Yeah, I
it?
think it's the same one.
Yeah, it's down the street from my house.
But it makes me think of like all the stuff when we were kids, like the electric
Werewolf
bridge,
Hollow.
Werewolf Hollow,
Yeah.
things like that. I mean, the KKK house, which was never really an actual KKK house.
No. All right, okay. There's actually a story behind it. Do you know the story behind the KKK
It was a
house?
dark and stormy night, and not a black person was in
The
sight.
story I know is the two little girls,
No, well, which one? Because I've heard a couple of them.
where
Too.
they were just two
That's the
two
thing,
little
nobody
two little
really
girls, and apparently they witnessed their dad kill their mom, and they ended up killing each other or something.
Yeah, I've heard that one, but then actually, it's funny because one of the articles I read, a woman claimed to be one of those daughters, and she was like,
She's
I
like,
don't know.
yeah, that didn't happen.
"Oh no," she's like, "That didn't happen." She's like, "I wish people would spreading those lies about our family and this, that, and the other."
Turns
And,
plot twist.
like-
She was the third sister who saw it all.
No, she
She was
worked
the one
for
who did it.
CNN.
That's right. She...
Misinformation.
Okay, move along. There was nothing to see here.
When the fuck do we get ice cream?
Supposedly that's an ad-lib line, but for the love of God, that was so good.
It was an
Like,
ad-lib line.
I
You're
took him
correct.
to get ice cream. When the fuck we get ice cream?
What was that dude's name?
Did you
Jeffy?
get ice cream?
You should get ice cream.
And you could even see Johnny Knoxville like try not to lose his shit. He was laughing so hard though. I mean, I was too.
That was a great
It's fucking
movie.
hilarious. Yeah, The Ringer was so good. But yeah, man, all those haunted places. Indiana's got a bunch.
Yeah, there's quite a bit.
I did a couple ghost hunts, but only ever really caught one.
Did
thing.
I ever tell you guys about the ghost hunting show that I almost did? So my role in it, because I'm the skeptic. My role in it.
Got a joke for you.
Oh, go for the
No,
joke.
go tell your story.
Joke's more important.
No, tell your story. And then-
Okay, so I got there were these guys out of Muncie, and they wanted to do a ghost hunting show, and I almost
Ghost Facers.
didn't take the email,
Ghost Facers.
which they ended up being full of shit anyway. But the fun part, the only reason I was considering doing it is because what they wanted me to do, other than edit the show, is they wanted me to basically be like in their control person, and I would be the asshole all through the episode who was going to be like, yeah, that was just the door, guys. You know, they'd be all like, oh, must have been a spirit. I'm like, there's a fucking raccoon. You can see it right there.
They would have hated you.
They would have, and I told them that. I was like, guys, I appreciate what you're trying to do, but I'm telling you, like, they're not going to go for it because you want me to kill the dream, which is they never even did a pilot, and I also wasn't looking forward to because they were all their shoots were going to be at night, and I'm like, I work for a living, bro. Like, you want me to fucking stay up all night, and then
Dude, you could have been the next ghost hunter.
That's why a lot of these
it wouldn't have worked.
You never know.
do these on their days off. Like I've got.
I had
friend-
one day off.
I've got one friend who does ghost hunting like professionally, like, and some of his evidence is amazing. And he's been to so many, not just in Indiana but out of state as well. It's hard to debunk a lot of stuff he got too.
Does he have any social media?
I believe he does, but I'll have to ask him what it's called. He just sends it to me because I've known him for so long. So
Gotcha. I didn't know if there was
like-
anything you wanted to plug.
if I would have thought ahead of time about
no
it,
worries,
yeah,
no worries.
You know, but you know.
Don't feel bad. It happens to us all the time. Well, I'm telling you, man. I want to watch your show. That's probably why I'm so adamant about it, is because it's a show I want to watch, and that's when I get really annoying with people. It's I'm like, come on, man. You got like Toast. I do it with Toast. I'm like, dude, make Breakfast Club because I want to watch it.
Such a good movie. But
Wait, that's a movie?
Breakfast
Oh God, I'm stupid. Yeah, you're right.
I was gonna say. I was like, that's a classic.
that's what I say. I was like, what, bro?
I'm an idiot. I totally forgot that movie just now. But yeah, that's what he calls his podcast, is Breakfast Club.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's very clever.
You're welcome.
I mean, I've had somebody like I
Oh, yeah,
reached
that's
out to
right.
you.
Oh, no,
and
he
wanted
came
to
up with
start
the
a whole
name.
podcast. And you know, the scheduling just didn't work out with him and me, and
Yeah.
what was going on with that. I mean, I don't know if he's ever got it kicked off or not.
I don't think so.
He says he's
but
done a few episodes, but they haven't put it up yet because they need to edit and learn
Yeah.
all that stuff still, which I get.
yeah, I get it.
You know, because I still got to learn all that stuff myself before I would even attempt to do something like
Well,
that.
lucky for you, the Arte Podcast Network has a playlist of tutorial videos and a private Discord channel to help you out with all of those technical aspects should you need them.
And can you tell us how much it costs, Jake?
500 million zenny.
Waves and rocks.
But for a limited time only, forever. Actually, I'm not going to say forever because I would love to be able to charge for it one day, but for now, it's free. It comes with it. You just start a podcast on the network. We're here to help you.
Help me, help you.
Help me,
The
help
little
you.
guys.
And one big guy.
What are you talking about? We're all big guys.
I would
Damn it,
probably
I
say
love
I'm
my
the
sushi.
biggest.
We've already been over this.
Or as Hamish from Braveheart, some men are long. He said longer than others. Never mind, that joke doesn't work.
Why are these men?
Well, see,
wearing
that's where I thought he
dresses?
was going with the Ghost show. I thought he was just going to do a show called Ghosted. And he was just going to, like, do blind dates and film them as they're sitting there. And he was just, like, showing their reactions about being stood up on dates.
Dude.
And then text them and be like, "You got ghosted!" And then never respond to
Sad
it.
thing is, that would explode on Netflix.
Well, yeah. It's Netflix.
Netflix, we got content.
They'll take whatever they can get.
Clearly not.
New original content. Ghosted. Coming at you every Friday.
Dude, I would
Or maybe
so
not. We
down
might
for that.
text you 5 minutes before and say,
Yeah.
No, you assholes. Earlier, I was saying that we should go to that haunted museum.
Yeah, dude, I'm game. I've never been. I don't think about
I don't know if it's a museum because because I looked it up online.
Or a
maybe a
tour,
couple
or
years
whatever it
ago.
is.
But it's an actual asylum, but I think it's like Waverly Hills in Kentucky,
Ooh.
where it's a legit asylum, but you can pay to go tour it and potentially stay the night there.
I'm a very big person, and I will hang on to one of you if I get scared. And I don't care what you say.
Okay, it's the Indiana Medical History Museum.
Okay, so that's different than the one I'm.
Yeah. Okay, so hang on. The Indiana Medical History Museum is an Indianapolis monument of the beginning of psychiatric medical research. It's located on the grounds of what was formerly Central Indiana Hospital for the Insane. Later shortened to Central State Hospital. It was placed in the National Register of Historic Places on April 25th, 1972 as the Old Pathology Building. It's the United States' oldest surviving pathology laboratory. And you can...
Viruses, death. Ooh.
What?
Pathology. Viruses.
Oh, yeah. You can make an appointment to have a tour.
Well.
Which I think is what Waverly Hills does too. But
Yeah, but holy crap, like, it's kind of a cool, it's clearly old.
I mean, is it a giant? I think it was a red building. The photo I saw of it.
I don't see I think it's a brick building, yeah.
Have you
Okay.
been up to his house?
No, not
No,
yet.
not yet.
I was going to say, I was going to say.
I live far now.
Next time I'm up that way, I definitely, drive by that. Since it's, like, right next to you.
It's funny because when you're closest to the entrance, you can't see it because there's a tree line. But when you're coming up off of Washington, you can see it. It's not that far away, but it's kind of in the distance. It's a big red building or a big brick building.
Yeah, I got lost up there. I was going to Panera to get a drink, and the only one closest was downtown, and I did not realize that.
Yeah, it's very close to downtown. You hit downtown very quick.
There was absolutely zero parking, and I was like, I'm not walking a mile just to get a Pepsi. I was like, I love Pepsi, but I don't love it that much.
It's such a conundrum though because I'm so close to downtown that I could, if I was okay for a hike, like a bit of a hike, I could theoretically walk downtown.
Oh, dude, fireworks! We're totally coming and parking at your house and walking down.
Oh yeah. You could. Well, that's.
I mean, you could see them if you get to the right.
Yeah. It's a bit of a walk to get downtown, which it's not so much going downtown; it's coming back that I'd be kind of like, oh, this sucks, But if you had like a scooter or something.
Well, they.
Yeah, I know. There's. I see them all the time.
They rent those scooters, and actually, that's a good side hustle.
That my neighbor before he moved out. My neighbor across the way did that. He would go collect them and
dude, you can make decent money doing that.
You guys ever ridden those scooters downtown?
No,
I want to.
Fun.
Are they really?
So, yes.
I need to try
I didn't think
it.
they would be, but like my daughter plays travel softball, so we were in I think we were in Kentucky, borderline Indiana, Kentucky. So think we ended up going to Louisville though while we were down there, and they obviously have them too.
Yeah.
And we were like, man, that place is like, 5 blocks from here. And of course, I'm fat. I'm like, he's like, man, y'all want to rent some of these scooter bike things that we see out in the streets? And of course, I'm with a bunch of teenagers, and my daughter being 14, and with her softball team. They're like, yeah, let's do this. So we all hopped on. That was a good time. I left those bitches in the dust though. They were too afraid to hit the power on that. I wasn't though. I was like, whatever. I got padding. If I fall, I'm okay. These skinny girls though, they're done for if they fall. So I was like, I get it. But
the nitty bitty bits are gone.
When I'm the dad just zooming by you, there should be some embarrassment on your part. But it was a good time, man. I highly recommend jumping on one of the scooters one time.
Dude, I might be in trouble then.
They go a lot faster than you think.
Because if it's that simple, like a scooter ride would not be bad at all from my house to downtown. Or I guess I never thought there's a bus stop at the end of my street. I guess I could always take the bus. I don't want to take the Indy bus system.
I don't know if I would take the bus.
No, hold on. I got an idea. So you have a truck.
Yeah.
So you take your truck, you go around, and you collect enough scooters for everybody. And then you come back to the house, and we all have our scooters. And then we charge them up while we're there.
I mean, theoretically, yeah.
And then we take them all.
I got an outlet on the outside of my house. We good.
I'm telling you. Thought process.
Being laid out for you. Just going in motions, bro.
It's all right there.
It's all right there.
So what do we want to keep going? We're flowing pretty well.
I know that sucks. We
I
always get the really good flow when we're like an hour in.
I know, but I don't know what you guys have to do in the
Are
morning.
we an hour in now?
We're 2
Oh,
hours.
yeah, I
no,
was
dude,
gonna
it's
say
near
we're-
Halloween. I take Halloween off. So I'm on a little mini vacay right now. I was telling him on the way
You
here.
want to stay the night at Eric's house?
So, well, I don't want to stay the night at your house.
I'm
Although
kidding.
I do love your dog. I'm not going to lie. Like, I walked in there and immediately got the love from Scoob.
Oh, did you see him?
Oh, yeah. He greeted me right at the door. He was jumping. He was so excited.
Yeah.
Never even met me before. I was just like, bro. I'm a dog person, though, so I was like...
He reads people.
Yeah.
And he's pretty good about judge characters, so...
It's funny because your missus was like, Scoob, come here as I'm walking to the bathroom. He didn't leave my side. We went all the way to the bathroom. He waited out the door for me while I was putting those condoms.
He was like, "Can I hold it for you?"
And he was confused. He was whining. He's like, come on out, bro. I just want a pet. As soon as I came out, oh, yeah, he was all about it.
He's like
a good dog.
He's like Mr. Trunchbull.
Oh, fresh, sweet.
I
hate children. I never was one.
I beg your little.
I'm smart, you're dumb.
I just got my daughter to watch that. She's 5, and she's at that age. I mean, you guys know me. I bounce off the walls anyway. She's the same way, and it's hard to get her to sit still, but she actually sat through half of the movie so far. I was like, nice.
Is the cake scene still as disgusting as I remember it?
I hate that scene. I hate that scene with a
I thought it was
passion.
hilarious.
The only reason I hate that scene is because I was a dumb young kid, and I believed her when she said it was made with her blood, sweat, and tears. And it made me hate chocolate cake. I still can't eat chocolate cake.
Oh, I can still eat chocolate. I can eat chocolate cake, but yeah, that might be why it. And plus, like, I just imagine eating all that cake, and I'm just like, ugh. That's not very
Excuse me,
Halloween.
Sir, that sounds like. Hold on, don't tell me. That sounds like the lullabies off of Super Mario 2 Yoshi's Island. What was that from? Or was that just a part of your phone and I'm just being retarded?
That was just a generic sound.
It's set, dude. Seriously, like, did you ever play that game? Did you ever play that game?
I don't know, maybe.
Man, you guys suck, dude. You never played.
Hang on, is it you who said that who shared the meme that said Super Mario World is better than Super Mario 3?
Yes, it is.
You take that back.
Super Mario World.
Yeah.
It's better than 3.
No, it's not.
No, it's as a game.
No.
It's better than 3. Nostalgia factor. Super Mario 3 is better.
Nah, man, Super Mario
As
3
a
is the
game
superior
better,
game.
World is better. I'm not talking about nostalgia factor.
I'm not talking about nostalgia factor.
3 wins hands
No,
down.
man, I'm talking.
And see, that's what people get with, like, just because I said I wasn't a huge fan of that Goosebumps show.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you're just blinded by nostalgia, bro. This show's amazing. I'm like, no, I'm not.
No,
blinded
actually,
by
you're
nostalgia.
the opposite of blinded by nostalgia. Oh, you mean the new
The
Goosebumps
new
show?
Goosebumps series, yeah.
Nah, that's not true
I'm
because
like,
they're
I was like, I'm not. It's
there's-
just- they
there's-
took all the Goosebumps monsters and they changed their stories. They didn't really do anything with the monsters per se.
Is this a Disney
That was
project?
So supposedly Disney's a distributor.
Okay.
Not actually hands in, but you can tell by watching it, they've got their hands in the cookie jar, bro.
Well, yeah,
they definitely had a
'cause-
say in whatever they were doing.
Well, because Disney is all
with that
about
show.
taking shit that worked and being like, how can we fuck this up?
Well, and that's where a lot of people were telling me it's like it's super woke. The ones that don't like the show, it's super woke. They don't like, for instance, like Goosebumps never had it, like the Riverdale feel, like the CW drama shit. And that's what they threw into the show. Because now you've got a love triangle with the teens, you've got infidelity with some of the parents, you've got everything pretty much like outside of the main story arc.
So it's like
of
if
the
Dawson's
show.
Creek was a horror movie?
I wouldn't even go as far as horror. I mean, they do have more adult tone and themes, but just because it's more meant to be like a teen to adult audience doesn't mean you have to say infidelity is part of the story, or you know, the love triangle part of the story. And like I get it, they're trying to appeal to the new generation of Goosebumps fans. They're not really catering to old Goosebumps, and you can tell by this show.
Yeah.
This is what they're catering.
Well, but it's not like their books are coming out anymore, so...
No, Goosebumps is still coming out.
What? Seriously?
Oh yeah, dude. R.L. Stein, like I got to meet him in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Oh,
not too
shit.
long ago, and it was fantastic.
That must have been cool.
His panel was amazing, and he says he writes 2,000 words a day. He said it doesn't matter where he's at either. As soon as he hits 2,000 words, he stops. And those are his hours. Imagine having work hours just that. So like 2-hour block.
2000.
Imagine if we just had one
Yeah.
podcast a day.
And that's all he does. He's like, you would kill to have my hours.
100%.
And he's written over like 300 books, I think, at this point. Being just the fact that he just turned 80 years old too. Like
Oh, don't
we
tell
were
me
there
that.
like the day before his 80th birthday. So we sang happy birthday to him and stuff. And he's like, oh, you know what they say, 80's the new death. I freaking died laughing. I was like, yeah, I was like, you're awesome. Like, because not a lot of people know that he really doesn't like horror as much. He's actually a comedy fan. But comedy is not what sells for him and makes him famous. But he's a lot funnier than people take credit for. Because, like,
Well, he
dude,
used
had
to...
us cracking up.
Well, he
about
used to
it.
do those intros to the Goosebumps series, and I always remember the the Night in Terror Tower one, where he's talking about the Tower of London, and he's holding a flail, and he's like, "Oh, excuse me, miss, can I get this gift wrapped?"
Yeah.
It's a very dry sense of humor, but I mean, it made me chuckle.
Well, that's why he throws in, like, in his books, if you've ever read any, you know, like, Goosebumps is part comedy and it's part horror. And he said it himself. He's like, every story he writes, the thing is, it's geared towards children. So
Yeah.
he has to make sure that the children know what he's writing is not real. That's his main goal in every book. But he's still writing. Like, they had a Horrorland series. Slappy World just finished up, and he actually just started a new Goosebumps series. And the first book was Scariest Book Ever, I think is what it's called. So, and it's actually a pretty good book. I did read that one.
Well,
And-
people shit on... Well, I shouldn't say they shit on. And not at the time they weren't shitting on, but, like, I've heard some people whose opinions don't mean anything, but they talk about how, like, the Goosebumps books aren't well written. And I'm like, well, they're for children, so dial it back a bit, you know? But...
Some of them are and some of them aren't. Not every book you're going to write is going to be a winner, especially when you've written over 300 of them. You know what I mean? And
Wow.
even him, he's straight up said, like, one of the questions somebody had was, why do they feel like Cry of the Cat, which is the very first book of the series 2000s that came out after his original 62 books started. And it was like in 99, I think. So we were getting on the cusp of the year 2000.
Yeah.
And Cry of the Cat was the first book of that series. So they were like, why do you feel like Cry of the Cat's an underrated book? And he's like, oh, that was a terrible book. Like, he didn't even hesitate. He did not even and then the interviewer was again like, no, why they wanted to know why you felt like it was underrated. It's like, oh, it was terrible. It's like, I was like, I don't know why I wrote what I did in that one. Oh, my goodness. He's like,
I feel
but
that.
hey, he's like, you know, they published it.
I feel that, dude, because not even holding it, not even trying to put myself on the same level as R.L. Stein, but that just made me think, like, the podcast we've done that has the most views by far is my least favorite. I hated it. I thought it was terrible.
Which one was that?
When we did the live reaction to the second presidential debate,
Oh, okay.
But it was one of those things where I was like, clearly I'm wrong, but like I hated it. I thought it was terrible. And it was me. Like it wasn't. It was how we did it. I understood what we were doing, but I had a different idea, and I now know my idea was bad because it was annoying people, but I thought the opposite was going to be annoying, and the whole first part is just really fucked up. And
okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
And I hated it. I thought it was awful, but it got the most views by far. So
yeah, what it ended up doing, like
over 600, over 600, yeah.
Yeah, like for a long form podcast, that's like,
that's not terrible for not having pre-established names. That's not bad at all.
Exactly.
Did you read the Animorphs series when you were younger?
I read some. I like the show too that they did for that little while.
Yeah, you know what? I feel like if they'd just been given more of a budget, it would have been a lot better.
Yeah.
But because I imagine Goosebumps are the same way, because I reread them occasionally. It's weird what happens though, and I haven't read a Goosebumps book in a while, but I imagine it would be the same as like you read the book and it's obviously at a reading level that is, younger, but there are themes in it that are very adult. Like some of the books, especially in the later, like deal with things like genocide and war crimes, and like it's like there's one of the prequel books, the Hork-Bajir Chronicles, is literally about the extinction / enslavement of an entire race of people. Like, and it's a YA novel.
And these were the Animorph books?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're basically saying that these books, like, while they captured teens, they weren't meant for them.
But they were. That's the thing.
Those seem like some
Well, they were, but you
advanced...
gotta think about the time period too.
Oh yeah, we weren't as sensitive.
So it was a different era of books and movies, television. It's just like Married with Children wouldn't be on today. That'd be canceled before it ever got started.
Oh yeah, they would have never.
We wouldn't have that classic gold
Fat
gem
women in shoes
of a freaking show. I mean,
Fat women in shoes.
Al Bundy was so good. And I'm glad that things came out when they did, because we wouldn't have them today for sure.
Yeah. Yep.
Especially in that era of comedy, and it's sad to think about, like, a lot of, as we're getting older, the stuff that we watched as kids, those people are starting to pass away now.
That's so surreal, man.
Right,
like when you told me,
it's blowing my mind. Like Richard Mole from Night Court, who voiced Two-Face in the Batman animated series and stuff like that, just passed away.
Kevin Conroy
passed. I didn't even know he had cancer. Like,
I didn't either.
I was gonna go to a convention and meet him, but I had to work or something. I can't remember what it was. I was like, I'll just see him at the next one when he comes close to Indiana. And no, he ended up passing away shortly before, I think 10 days before JDF did. So
and then JDF,
childhood influences on me had passed away at that point.
And when you said R.L. Stein was 80, like that just didn't compute for me, because it's been a while.
Yeah, I mean, Goosebumps is now 31 years old.
Who died? Somebody died recently. Oh, Matthew Perry.
Perry passed away.
Which he died young. Do you know what caused it?
He
Yeah.
drowned.
So
he drowned?
Said it was drowning in his hot tub.
He had a heart attack and drowned.
Was that the case?
Yeah, cardiac arrest.
Because there's been things online that made it sound like he killed himself, and I'm like...
Yeah, but the thing is, awfully young in cardiac arrest, 54.
Well,
I
to
suspected...
Be fair, did you ever know his background? Like,
yeah, he was a drug addict.
Heavy drug use and stuff. That can damage your body. So,
yeah.
I mean,
well, that happened with Eddie Guerrero, too. Like,
yeah.
Because he was sober by the time he passed, or at least they think he was sober.
Right.
But cardiac arrest, too, wasn't it?
I believe so.
A cardiac episode, in 2004. But as
There's
far as
something to think about,
yeah,
it's
it's
looking
just
at Vince McMahon now using a cane.
I saw that.
I was like, whoa.
Man, that happened fast.
Yeah.
Hey, Jake from Safe Farm, will you shut that door?
I sure can. And his weird,
it'll just look better.
His weird mustache too.
I didn't even think about it.
I feel like that was a rib just for him, because there's no why.
So weird. But just thinking about it, man, like all these things from our youth that we're getting to the age now, and you wouldn't think so. It's still in our 30s.
Well, and it's weird because we're the first generation that has. How do I word this? We're the first generation where we can go back and watch most of what we grew up watching.
Yep.
So it's like, if you were born in the 50s, let's say, if you were a baby boomer, and like when Sammy Terry passed, it was like, well, yeah, like I like you would have known who Sammy Terry was, but for those you don't know, Sammy Terry's an Indiana television figure. Should have explained that, but he was around when we were younger, but it's not like
He did, because I remember.
yeah, no,
watching
that's
WTTV4,
that's a bad example because he was totally around our entire
He was
lives.
totally around and doing
Yeah.
those commercials before.
That's a terrible,
for
yeah.
WTTV4.
That's a terrible example. I just realized I'm always wait. No, Sammy Terry was definitely
No, he was
around.
totally Now,
Yeah.
his son carries on the legacy.
Oh, really? I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
And,
That's cool.
He's starting to get better at his dad's like laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Thing that he does. Like, he does it so well now. But he's actually was appearing this weekend at the Strand.
Oh, that's cool.
So he still does shows and stuff. And
That's awesome.
like,
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So it's pretty neat.
Well, so I'm going to think of a better example. Just somebody that, if you were born in the 50s, somebody that you watched on TV through the 60s and into the 70s, if they were to pass away
Well,
by the
think
time.
of it like MASH and.
Don't get me started on MASH,
Yeah.
man. I love MASH.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, how many cast members have passed away at this point?
Alan Alda's still alive, right?
As far as I know, he's still alive.
Yeah, I thought he. Yeah.
I think he's one of the last few.
But even that, like,
Sure.
if you want to, you can go back and watch the entirety of MASH, which I'm rewatching currently. So it's funny that you brought that up.
Yeah.
Oh man, MASH was awesome. MASH is awesome. MASH is another show that wouldn't get made today because it didn't have great ratings until like their third season. It was kind of not passed over, but it didn't have super strong ratings until they were in season 3. It would have been canceled already if it were made today.
Right. Well, everything nowadays costs so much freaking money to make because they don't use
But it shouldn't,
practical effects anymore. Now they want to use CG, and
which is
they
ridiculous.
feel like if you're not a success after one season, you're done.
Which name me.
Yeah, speaking of Netflix, they make so many good freaking shows and then cancel them.
Well, but it's funny
yeah,
because
they-
name me an iconic TV show, and I bet you the majority of them weren't smash hits in their first season. It probably took a little bit of time. There's some exceptions.
Well, see, even me, like I
Trailer Park
I
Boys.
missed the train for The Office. Like, that wasn't a show I ever got into, and then everybody was like, "Oh, you should definitely watch it." Well, I watched the first season, and I was like, "Oh my goodness!" It's like, is this really what this show is? They're like, you really got to get past the first season to really start getting into the show and the comedy bits that really come into play that are great for the show.
The Office, you said?
The Office had some really good Halloween episodes.
So, and that's what I'm saying. Like,
I tried to watch
you get
the first
past
season.
the
I
first
just couldn't do
season,
that.
Yeah.
it's rough. It's
Yeah,
rough.
it's that very because they were basically ripping off the British version, almost not verbatim, but it was very much in that same vein. And British comedy is just different. Like it's much, which don't get me wrong, I love dry humor, but it's
Oh my goodness.
it's drier and
That was
darker and
so dry.
yeah.
One day,
Like-
all of this will be yours. What? The curtains?
Yeah, but that's later.
I was gonna say that's later.
I know, but still, it's hilarious.
Was
So-
it? Hang on,
and
remind.
that's where the kind of Goosebumps show for me goes. It's going to a point where it moved away too much, I think, from the books. You don't have the monsters in it as much. You know, the first episode was Say Cheese and Die, so it was the camera, if you remember that book.
Yep.
Which I thought they did pretty well, but it wasn't in the show for very long. The second episode was The Haunted Mask, which was an abomination to me.
Oh, the remake episode.
Yes. As a Haunted Mask fan, they didn't take anything from the story other than the fact that the mask, takes over.
So wait, what do they do with it? Because the whole
so their
point.
whole concept was with this girl was that she is a troll, like an internet troll.
Okay.
Using common day stuff. Like I said, it's marketed towards the new generation. So they made her a troll. Guess what the mask did later? Made her a troll. So, to me, she looks like a cross between a Lord of the Rings goblin and Gollum. Because look up the picture.
I know. I've seen the photo.
I shared it on my Instagram and said the same thing. Because in the book description, the mask is green for one.
Yeah.
It's the mask from the beginning. I mean, it's not. It doesn't change. This one does. The beginning is just a white, plain ass mask.
So Michael Myers mask.
No, this is worse. It looks like a cherub almost in a way with cracks in it. It's like weird.
My Valentine? Or what
So
was
she
that
puts
horror
it
movie?
on at this Halloween party. I don't even understand the whole.
Now,
maybe
was
I
it
missed what they
was
did
it
with
was it
this.
an in-person Halloween party or was it a Zoom Halloween
Oh
party?
no, we're not. They're not to that point. Yet. This was an in-person one.
So this was
At this
post-COVID.
haunted house that the whole show is around, which I think is more of a Welcome to Dead house
Yeah.
reference to. But so she wears this mask, gets a little more confidence because people don't know who she is in this mask. Does her thing at this party, but then the thing is, like, the mask whispers to her, and I like that part. I
Yeah.
like the fact that the mask actually like talks to her to make her do stuff she normally wouldn't do. Like, for instance, like trash talking the guidance counselor and the dude who wrecked her drone. And things
Of course,
like that.
there's a
Like,
drone.
yeah. So that part was cool, but like, and then the mask can smile later, off screen. Like, it shows, cuts back to it, smiles. Like, okay, so it can move on its own. Okay, that's fine. But it's not green. It didn't have fangs. It didn't have anything that the book described. So you're just sitting there going, wow. So you didn't take the story from the Haunted Mask. You didn't take the look of the Haunted Mask. You didn't have the characters from the Haunted Mask, like Carly Beth, the shopkeeper, none of that stuff. You took all that out.
So they Star Wars it.
They literally did nothing with the story as a whole. And then at the end, when she puts on the mask for like the second or third time, it changes her into that troll looking thing, like I said, Gollum's sister. Because that's what it looks like. It's got pointy ears. It's got
Sleagle.
somewhat sharp teeth. But
Subscribe to our OnlyFans, Precious. Precious _ Sleagle.
Oh, man.
feet pics.
Does it wants the precious on the big toe?
Yes!
Give it to us raw. And
This is what you can expect.
You know what?
on our
That episode of The
podcast.
Haunted Mask would have been better if this happened. See what
Okay.
I'm saying? Fans could have wrote something much better. But
that's
in
becoming.
the end, it morphs her, and then it's when she like runs to her brother that I guess that's their version of the.
Oh, so she does run into Smeagol.
She runs into Smeagol and starts scaring Smeagol, and he's like,
Run that mask. Precious, can I have it? It's my birthday.
and she is able to fight the evil. The mask take it off, and then they
And she throws it into the fires of Mount Doom.
She apparently couldn't find it, so she went to the nearby creek and tossed it in.
Okay.
Same concept, just water instead of fire.
Oh, so it's a Jason mask.
So basically, yeah. So that like really soured me on the show. But
How
then
did I? I
like,
couldn't swim.
you have to fast forward. I mean, the overall story arc is actually a really good story.
Yeah.
It's just everything else in between is just like killing the show for me almost.
Well, I was just gonna say it's.
But the episode where Slappy shows up is actually a really good episode. Like, that was the most Goosebumps thing there was.
Yeah.
different directors and everything, right?
I don't.
Different show maker.
There was a different director for that
producers.
episode, and I can't remember his name.
How's
I'm
the-
hoping he does more.
How's the theme song, though?
There's not really.
Well, shit.
That's the thing. Like, I could almost forgive some things with the show
Theme songs are kind of a
because
thing of the
I
past,
understand
though.
that they're making it to a new generation. They're, they got to add stuff that resonates with even the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Resonates more with today's youth. But I mean, like, when they do stuff in '93,
So,
because that's when it starts.
they-
It's actually like the show's backstory.
Oh,
It
really?
starts in '93.
oh, that's cool.
But it takes place in current day. So
Yeah.
the things that happened in the past are actually affecting
Well, so they could
what
have
this is.
they could have done like a mumble rap intro. It was
Well, I would have been happy if they would have just got Jack Lynn's,
'Cause they
to
just-
the original theme song for
Yeah.
Goosebumps and the score. Because his score for the original '90s Goosebumps show was just
they could have
live on its own.
they could have Hans Zimmered it, just taken the original, but then just dialed it up to 12.
I mean, why not?
Yeah, well, that's what they did with the
Yeah.
Top Gun theme.
Think
Because
about, like, even though John Carpenter obviously did the score for the original Halloween, which is what really set that movie's tone
Mhm.
more than anything else. Like, the mask and the score was really what had that movie for a lot of people. Imagine if that score was different. The movie probably would have failed.
arguably, yeah.
And I don't think there's any question. I think there was actually a thing with John Carpenter and the screening, I think, for the company. They said, this is good, but not great. Like, we want, what's going to do this. So I think he wrote that in 2 or 3 days or something.
Yeah, I think it was very fast.
Because I mean, there was a very low budget film.
Yeah.
Like very low.
And they blew most of that budget on, and thank goodness they did it on lighting and camera because he had a high quality camera. He was adamant about it looking very, very good.
Yeah. So I mean, like he did a lot of it himself. He wrote, directed, and did the score.
That's what we need more of, though, and we're getting away from it because the studios are so reluctant. Which it's ironic because that movie was so cheap.
Yes.
It's like look at the possible return. Like I don't remember what the budget
that movie made and on the back end of this.
But like even by today's standards, like if you could launch a franchise off of what was supposed to be a B movie, like well maybe not a B movie, but you know what I mean. Like
I mean to be honest, it probably would have been.
Yeah, well because the original title was The Babysitter Murders, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. But so I wanted to go back to Goosebumps real quick. And just so, what's the moral of the new Haunted Mask story in your estimation? Don't troll.
I mean, I guess it's like don't be a troll.
But let's compare.
It's really kind of depressing. That's what they did with the Haunted Mask.
Well, let's
That's what
compare.
you're talking about with a woke ideology.
Well, I mean, they have that. They kind of put into the whole thing of like the troll. A lot of people are complaining that the character of James is a gay. I guess also trans. I never really got the trans part of that. I guess
so
he's a trans or something.
May or may not be gay.
But for sure gay. I mean, according to the show, gay.
Okay.
But because there's a whole episode. His is the Cuckoo Clock of Doom episode.
Oh,
The whole point of the Cuckoo Clock of Doom is it, takes him back in time, makes him younger, and he's got to stop the clock before he just disappears.
Yeah, so he's not going to subscribe to Sleagle's OnlyFans.
But in this one, he can't leave the house. Like every time he leaves, the clock pulls him back into the house, and it takes him back in time in the house at a moment in this party. But he uses these moments in this party to get information, eventually to get information about the guy he likes. Like knowing his favorite soccer team, using that as a conversation thing with this guy, and blah, 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 blah.
So he's stuck in an essential time loop?
He was essentially stuck in a time loop, and every time he tried to run out,
instead of figuring out how to
back
get out, he goes for the guy he likes?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it sounds like that, but I mean, like, he tries to escape the house, but he can't figure out how.
It's like, might as well suck this dude's dick.
He's like, well, while I'm here, I'll just learn more about the dude I like a lot and what I can do to get this guy. So
hey, whatever, do your thing.
Whatever.
But
the concept that they changed, like that's the thing, like they've changed every Goosebumps monster's backstory. They've changed everything that really makes them, besides the camera that takes photos of the bad things that happen to that individual in the future. They kept that part. Now, they did keep it as a Polaroid camera instead of like the big clunker that was in the Ryan Gosling 90s Goosebumps show.
That was him, wasn't it? Oh, my God.
Yeah, that was a young Ryan Gosling.
That just hit me.
But they didn't use that big, goofy-looking space camera, futuristic camera. They just used a Polaroid from the 90s. And, which was smart.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, those have come back, apparently.
Well, they even kind of joke about that in the 93 version of that. It's like, one of the girls was like, "Oh, is that a so-and-so camera?" He's like, "No." He's like, "It's actually updated. They just make it look vintage to charge more for it."
They need to bring back two TVs and VHS players.
But let's compare that to
the VHS is making a comeback too.
What?
The market, man, like on VHS is unreal.
Well, because they're finally
buying them all the time.
There's probably
the only one.
There's probably enough that have been destroyed by now that some of them are actually pretty rare. So.
Well, you got to think there's some that never even made it to DVD.
Yeah.
Transferred over, like My Pet Monster, even on the Halloween theme. One of my favorites as a kid was My Pet Monster, not the cartoon, but the live action. And you can watch it on YouTube, but you can't buy it on DVD or Blu-ray. It never came out, so it's only on VHS. And the VHS is like $75-$80 or more, depending on the condition and things like that. At least what I've seen on eBay. Because I was looking at potentially getting one later.
Well, and the worst part is you're on borrowed time with that because it's eventually going to wear out.
Yeah, the film itself is going to wear out.
Yeah, the tape is going to.
I go to the Art Craft Theater in Franklin sometimes because it's an old vintage movie theater, and they still play old movies on 35mm film, including Hocus Pocus, which is what usually I'll take my daughter to around this time, and you can see even when they play it, like little black spots because the film's just kind of going. They've had to edit and cut the film together because some parts are just going out.
Yeah.
It's sad to see all that stuff go, and that's why everything got moved to digital.
Yeah.
And I get it.
Well, if you own the originals, though, you can always put them to digital, and I'm assuming there's probably a way to put it back onto VHS or
well, that's how they
reels.
That's how they digitally remaster. They take the original film or tape, whatever they have. They, like you said, they digitize it, and then they can use software to basically convert it to HD and correct the color. That's what they did with when they did the special edition Star Wars. That's
when they did the remastered stuff. I think that's what they did.
That's all it is. But I want to. So the original Haunted Mask TV show, or even the book. What's the moral of that story? Is it's about what the whole lesson that Carly Beth learns is
the whole lesson is to love yourself.
Yeah, it's about what's on.
The whole concept of like how she was bullied.
Yeah.
And that resonated with me because when you get to high school, obviously you're going to have your bullies.
Yeah.
I can still remember mine and some of the things they said.
That guy.
Everybody has them.
I was not a bully.
No.
Not to me, you weren't.
No. I'm just kidding. No, we just had thick skin.
Got all that.
I pushed a lot of people to do stuff they didn't want to do.
Yeah. Thank you, by the way.
Not anything sexual or anything.
I was about to say, as Jake says, thank you. I'm glad you.
I'm glad you clarified because I know what I'm talking about. But
good boy.
By the way, you can subscribe to his OnlyFans. No, but I mean, it's like
I still need to make one.
I'm telling you, you need to just for the joke. You have one picture of your foot on there and charge like $50 a month. Some
the funny
dumbass.
But don't cut your toenails for a year.
Yeah.
I've had people
get that
tell
curl
me I have
going.
pretty feet.
That's one of the most unnerving things that's ever been said to me.
And I don't do anything to them. Like,
That's
like I'm thinking about Deliverance, and it's like it's not you got pretty. Not that you got pretty mouth. You got pretty feet.
Oh shit!
I've been told that on more than one occasion, and it's super weird when they say it.
I was like, dude, I have fucking.
I've got hobbit feet.
I've got hobbit feet. They're
I thought you were about to say I
flat.
got hot feet. Like,
They're flat. They're hairy.
Sexy.
It's so sexy it hurts.
We got a good vibe going with three people
That's
in
what I
here.
was thinking.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But which lesson would you rather your child learn? To love yourself? I'm sorry. Yeah, that was a very poor segue. Which moral from the haunted?
About your child?
I mean,
It's 9 o'clock.
What do you mean?
Yeah, that's something you'll never see again.
What?
It's 9 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? Our parents were like, nope, but we locked the door in half an hour, so hopefully they're somewhere safe.
Well, they know to come home when street light goes on. They ain't home by then, ain't
That's the whole reason I was involved in that whole Teddy fucker fiasco is because I stayed out too late. My dad locked the goddamn door.
I remember that.
I know you were there. I would hope you remember. That's
I forgot.
burned into my fucking
I don't
memory.
want to remember that.
I wish I could forget.
But
If I had just gone home.
PG.
If I had just gone home.
Parental guidance.
I hit the lever on the
That was
chair.
PG. That was PG in the 90s, though. That's different PG than
Teddy fucker was definitely not
Yeah.
PG. That was some horrible, horrible shit.
That just makes me think of Super Troopers.
We'll have to tell you the story after.
Yeah, we'll tell you after off air. It is unnerving.
License and registration. Teddy fucker.
Oh fuck! Actually,
that's the moral of the story, though. That's the moral of Goosebumps. Haunted Mask is to love yourself. I mean, to appreciate who you are, and not whatever everybody else has and sees. Like
because you could always have a mask get stuck to your face,
it's true.
and that would be bad.
Like the face huggers from.
Well, that was just a story about trying to get revenge.
Ain't free hugs, bro.
She got her revenge, but at a price.
Yeah, because she wanted to scare somebody, didn't she? That's what it was.
Chuck and Steve.
Chuck
and Steve were her bullies and scared her all the time.
Why do I think that Chuck and Steve ended up getting married many years
did.
later?
They
did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Chuck and Larry. It was Chuck
Actually,
and
you know
Larry.
what? The kid who played Chuck in that show is Amos Crowley. I can't remember.
Oh.
But he's done so many different shows that you know him from if you look it up. I'm sure you'll probably catch at least one. I think he does one of the crime shows. I can't remember which one it is, though. Is it CSI? He does something like one of those shows. He's been on for a long time.
That's like saying he's on a medical show. You gotta narrow it down.
That's why I said you have to look it up because there's.
He was on that one where he was the doctor.
Yeah.
The Good
Oh,
Doctor.
yeah.
He was on that one. Whereas
That's not a terrible show, but there's an
Similar
episode.
mishap.
Though you know the whole reason I started watching The Good Doctor,
Because of the trans.
specifically one scene,
Yeah.
and it is oh my god, it's so funny. There's
She has testicular.
well, though when they start to do the exam, and they lifts up the bed, they just both look surprised, and he's like, "That's," and then Sean, Dr. Murphy, just goes, "Penis." And then I'm like, I gotta watch this show. This looks fucking hilarious. That makes me a bad person.
It does.
It's just his delivery. It's so goddamn funny.
And that's the thing. I think a lot of people just can't understand a joke's a joke.
Well, that's just it. Wasn't a joke though. I just took it as a joke because I'm an asshole. But
It seemed like a joke.
it came off like a joke.
The
like-
way you told it sounds like a joke.
because it's unintentionally hilarious, kind of like the Batman when he inflates the suit.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that what's that called? A parasailing suit or
Yeah,
jumper?
paraglide.
But the
no,
dude,
that's not
when it
paraglide.
first happened, both me and him were sitting in the theater. We both started laughing as hard as we can. No one else is laughing.
Well, I was already
Oh, no, you weren't the
laughing.
only ones. In my theater when I saw it, there was about half the theater.
There were so many moments in that
laughing when it
movie
happened.
that were they weren't supposed to be funny, but like when he got shot with a shotgun the first time, that was fucking hilarious.
Dude, this guy, all right, listen, I don't know how you felt about the scene, but you remember when he grabs the guy and he's like, boom, 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 and then he says the line. But the thing is, he thought that he was like trying to hit him as hard as he can and he's not falling down. I was like, no, dude, I had to tell him, I was like, he's holding him and beating him down and keeping him up. And he thought that he was trying to hit him and he was just wasn't.
No,
falling
I still
down.
I still
That makes me
made.
think of that Mortal Kombat scene from the
This
first
is
movie.
where you fall
This is where you
down.
fall down.
But then the other I had you primed though because I was making the joke at the first because I realized like very early on in the movie I was like, if you could take this movie and Twilight and switch dialogue around and it would just work. It would still work. You know, because it's like, what are you? Say it. You can say vampire. You can say vampire. You can say vampire or Batman, and the scene works.
I'm gonna work on that.
Just fucking Kristen Stewart in there. Batman.
Have to run it through an AI filter, but
Yeah.
get it done. Boys, it's going on 3 hours. What do we want to do?
Let's wrap it up, but we should
Okay.
definitely do it again for another topic because this was a lot of fun.
Twas. and
I believe the viewers will enjoy it. But considering it's not a normal night, this one did decent.
Yeah, not too bad.
And it'll get more even tomorrow. It'll probably get a lot more by Halloween, I would expect.
Maybe.
But don't forget to check out the
Well,
Toon Talk
3
2.0.
hours.
Yeah.
I didn't think we've been doing this for 3 hours. Man.
And the best part is we now have shorts leading into Halloween for next year.
All Hallows Eve.
Oh no, I totally do that shit on purpose. This year we got 2 episodes of Christmas shorts.
What are you doing?
Sinking.
Christmas.
Started going down like the mud monsters in Goosebumps. What were they called?
They were just the Mud Monsters.
Oh, were they just called the mud? What was the name of the book though?
You Can't Scare Me.
That was it. That episode is actually genuinely terrifying. Well, not terrifying, but it was.
That's actually the title of the next episode in the new Disney Plus series.
You Can't Scare Me. So what are they going to do? Ron DeSantis is going to be on it.
Don't get me started on Mr. Ron DeSantis.
Ron DeSanctimonious. He was on the Disney Plus show. Came in. He never said
Fake
gay.
news. Fake news.
Wrong.
We gotta. I know we got next week taken already as well. So it's like
We got the
gotta be
next 2 weeks.
There's so much to talk about right now.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
That's
Ron
how it.
DeSantis- Ron
that's how it
DeSantis,
works.
His state is calling for him to stop.
We had
running.
like 3 weeks where we didn't have much of anything, and now it's like
just
shit.
everything.
Yeah, because we got the next 2 episodes already slated,
Mhm.
which we're gonna have fun on Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
That's gonna be fun.
And then the one after that is Kyler Self-Health Fitness.
Which I'm stoked to talk to him. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, he's very knowledgeable.
He knows some
And
stuff
actually,
about
the funny
things.
thing is, you're into DDP yoga, and the funny his book is actually about Anaerobic, yeah.
No, there's another D in that came out wrong.
It's not DP yoga. It's DP yogurt. No, but no, about stretching and whatnot, and that's exactly what it is. But his is a little
Sure
different.
sounds like DP yoga.
There's 2 D's, and that
Stretching.
came out wrong again.
All right, Jake.
There's 2 D's, exactly. That's what I'm talking about, stretching, right?
I'm gonna put it on you, and you
Stretching
go
out
ahead
that
and lead
part.
us out.
This is a kid-friendly show. I don't even know what's happening.
Penis. No.
Breath.
What was that? What is that? Is that what the game was called?
What?
Was it just called Penis?
Oh yeah, where you yell penis louder and louder and louder and louder and louder and louder and louder.
Somehow
You
that
didn't
was
have to do it
difficult.
with just penis. You know.
Yeah,
vagina,
but everybody.
Vagina boob.
Yeah, but everybody did penis,
Yeah.
which is funny now. Who cares?
Right.
It's 2023. Everybody does penis.
Now it's like nowadays you just went instantly. You're just like penis,
Yeah.
and then kids are like, I'm not gonna
At
say it
the
louder.
lunch table. Penis. Vagina boob.
Anyway, actually, you should lead us out.
Thank you for enjoying this podcast. Hopefully you're a little bit more intelligent, a little less average. I'm your host. I can't believe I got that right.
I'm proud of you, especially since you're high as fuck right now.
No, I'm not anymore. I'm tired.
Oh, he's come
I'm
down.
ready to go to bed. But anyway, so if you appreciate it, I'm not gonna say if you like this video. If you appreciated this
If you
video,
appreciate it.
leave a like, subscribe, and share it with your buddies. I
And
don't care if you hate them. If you hate them, definitely share it too.
leave your favorite Halloween movie or episode in the comments.
Yeah, that's good. Yes, that's good. But anyway, so you can check out us on all variety of platforms, which include. I'll let you do that part.
Amazon, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podcast Addict, Podbean,
What I gotta do to get it through to you? Prove I'm superhuman.
YouTube Music too.
Mom spaghetti.
Your knees will be weak when you listen.
Anyway, this has been another episode of Average Intelligence Podcast. Eat me.